Hey y'all, and welcome into the M3DM Tavern. I have another lovely shift planned for you guys today, and looks like the chat is already going insane, so both our Discord and YouTube. So hello. I'm going to read it off anyway. At some point, this isn't going to be reasonable, but we're not there yet. So big welcome to Aloha, Mini Plays, RB Gaming, Sater, Taka, Just Lingual, RB Gaming, I said that twice, Micah, whose request we're doing today, and Ray. I think I got everybody. Also, very important, I have decided to take the Stardew Valley effect, where essentially every night, Fairy visits and deposits a bunch of poing on one special person. It is random. Though, shockingly, Micah, it's you. You got a bunch of it. I think you got 50 points or something, and it's also, I guess it's just your day. We're doing your request with Tavern Keeper's Craft, and now you're poing rich. So enjoy. Oh, and Cav's here. Hey, welcome back. And Jolly Row. Hello, welcome in. Beautiful. So yes, Ricky is still in first. I promise it's not rigged. I don't know why my husband keeps winning the duels. But yes. So during warm-up and happy hour, you guys are especially encouraged to go nuts, duel each other as you please. During Tavern Keeper's Craft, we keep it a little more focused. But in the beginning here, go crazy. I do have two things you can spend this ridiculous fake currency on. That's very real, but very fake. It's exclamation point redeem. You can redeem a D20 to get a D20 of Destiny roll. This is normally 5 real US dollars that you can donate in Super Chat, or it's 200 points, so no one can afford that yet. The other thing you can buy is Moo. You can summon Moo, our little mushroom, onto the stream for 15. So it's exclamation point redeem Moo. M-O-O. So if you want him up here, you can pay for that. It's 15 points. Moving right along, we have a new question of the day. Oh, Taka, what the hell is poing? Glad you asked. We now have a silly currency system based on how much you watch and chat. You must do both. I cannot tell you the exact formula of how you earn it because you guys are all gamers and you will ruin it. So I cannot tell you. RB says, I guess I can get 49 rolls. Not even close. It costs 200. Hey, Pet's back. It's been a while. Welcome back. Yeah, Moo is now officially available. Someone else can pay for Moo, though. If you guys are curious what's going on with this dueling and nonsense, definitely feel free to ask. We have a new question of the day, which is, what is the best way to start a campaign? And in this context, we're talking about tabletop games. So TTRPGs, tabletop role-playing games. Tavern meeting, a shared backstory, group job request, or a big world event. We have a 3-way tie right now, surprising nobody, with shared backstory being in last, the rest of them being tied. That'll be up for the rest of it. All right, what else? Oh, at this point, it's becoming just sad, guys, but I still don't have a crochet update for you. It's still just blob cow. I just have not had time. So to all my mentorship students, I understand. I also struggle to find time for my hobbies. He's been a blob for like 2 weeks now. But on the plus side, today is my 15th day in a row live streaming. This is a new streak. So every day from here on out is my new personal best. So yes, we'll see how far it goes. Reaper's here. Hello, welcome in. Let the dueling begin. Again, during warm-up, it is an absolute free-for-all. Doors open, duel away. Again, the only things that are up for sale officially right now are a free roll of the D20 Destiny, which is normally $5, like real money, which is 200, or summoning Moo, the Tavern pet. Eventually, I'll have a bunch of different Tavern pets to summon on the bar here, but as of now, it's just Moo. That's our mushroom. Oh no, RV Gaming, you're not great too. Off to a great start. Ray says, I'm too broke to duel. Do you not have a single point? Empress is here. Hello, welcome in. Also, I have the power. I am Overlord here, so I can give points as needed. Ray, there's 2 poing. There's some pity poing. All right. In our Discord right now, we have the Pirate Druid construct will be the Tavern Keeper's Craft. We have lots of references in here and lots of discussion. So I will do my best to run through this and grab some when we start that. As of now, it's just warm up, so we're having a good time. Reminder that I have changed happy hour so that happy hour is now focused on my students. This happened after Tavern Keeper's Craft, so in about an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. And I can review assignments, I can give feedback, ask questions, all that kind of stuff. I give priority to my mentorship students that pay through Patreon, but if you're just new and lurking, I don't mind answering some questions for free as well. There's a lot going on. It's a good time. Off to a strong start here. Pat says, have things changed a bit around here since my last visit, or is it just me? Yeah, things are getting a bit more lively. We have some more fun things happening. We have more mugs, more official YouTube members as well. I think we have 6 now, if I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6. It's been great. Things have been going great. I stream every single day now, and it's a huge part of my job. It's the best. Empress, happy hour? No, yappy hour. Aloha, I don't have that much. I don't have that many points. And then, of course, we always have our Discord over here. For those of y'all that wanted to kind of kick back, you can feel free to join the Peasant Hub, kind of do a watch party. If you enjoy the chaos of the chat, of course, you're welcome to enjoy that as well. But we also have our Discord, which is much more kickback, if you guys want to chat and hang out there as well. Personally, I love the chaos of the chat. Quite enjoying it. Especially during doors open, it is a free-for-all. All right. I think that's everything. Yes, I believe so. All right, so right now I'm going to focus on this Fallen Valkyrie, and what I want is to get her ready for posing. There's quite a bit of prep that needs to happen there, and I want to make sure that all of my details are kind of settled. So right now, like these little metal bracers, don't have a whole lot going on. So let's see if I can get this ready before doors open is complete. There we go. Kind of putting this off to the side, putting a little stamp here, so that way we can always see something nice and pretty on the screen. To do a stamp in ZBrush, hold down Shift and click S. S for screenshot. All right, and now I'm free to solo and look at stuff up close without it being confusing for the rest of the stream. I'm gonna add a couple edge loops here and extrude a poly loop. There we go. So now when I crease and subdivide, it'll have a nice clean edge here. Oh, and like always, if you guys are trying to grab my attention, just put my name in the chat, M3DM, and I will get to you when I see it. Otherwise, I will not notice probably. But I don't want to miss you, so feel free to repeat your questions or comments at any time. I'm glad you guys are having fun. Empress says, stamp, is this a hack? What is ZBrush even? I call it a stamp just so I can kind of have like little references of my art as I go. It makes the stream a little more readable. But yes, it's also a trick. Oh my gosh, Satyr, how the mighty have fallen. What is happening? Do you keep losing? My shame is infinite. Back to work. Womp womp. Sounds good. One delia. Oh no, my hubris. That's so dry. I love that. Oh, and then I forgot to give an update on my dog. The update is he's asleep. He's under his blankie. And he is snoring. That is it. That is the end of the update. You guys are already poor. How did you guys lose all of your money already? Oh my goodness. You're pointless. Oh well. Maybe tomorrow. You guys remind me of giving like a little kid an allowance and they like immediately blow all of it on like chocolate bars, and I'm like, wow, that was fast. Yes, Empress says, yeah, you opened up ZBrush for the first time, closed it, mental brain is shattered, and I went back to my current Blender project, LMAO. Will revisit. It is very difficult to navigate or get anything done when you're brand new. It really is. Like, I think my first 3 lessons for my students are just how to move around because it's so odd. You get used to it, I promise. Just hack at it a little bit each day. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like the stream if you guys are having a good time. It makes a big difference. Ooh, Empress is trying to gamble. I have not enabled that module yet. I figured I'm introducing one thing at a time here, but that will be a thing. All right, this character has a ton of different pieces. I'm gonna try to simplify it the best I can. A nice little trick to reorganize your subtools really quickly is just click on, you can hold down Option or Alt on Windows, and that will automatically select whatever you're clicking on. And it'll also therefore select it in your subtool menu. What I like to do is hold down Shift and click on this little arrow with like the right angle on it, and it'll shoot that subtool all the way to the very top of your menu. I find it's easier to keep things organized that way if I merge things down. So for example, if I wanted to merge down, like, these are all already merged down. Yeah, so like her helmet is 3 different pieces right now. If I want it to be the same piece, I can hold down Option, click on that, hold down Shift, and then this, and that sends it to the top of the list. Do the same thing for the piece underneath. Shift, send to the top, and then merge down, because they're already on top of each other. So it's a little nicer than having to click and drag and deal with that. There's a lot, this isn't like the only way you could do this. This is just what seems easiest for me. But I know that ZBrush is very intimidating because there's a lot going on. So I like to try to simplify things as much as I can. And it still took me years to get used to. So nothing beats just practicing a little bit every single day. All right, I love this veil that we added. I know people are going to paint this like hair, and that's fine. But it is supposed to just be a fabric veil. Alrighty. I'm going to head and merge that as well. So we'll have this lovely headpiece. I'm going to keep the wings separate for now because I might want to change the wings later on. We'll see. Ray says, oh, ZBrush is so counterintuitive for controls in comparison to other software. It's true. It's true. Micah says, I was never given an allowance. Christmas gifts, then birthday, early January. Sometimes other stuff the rest of the year. Same, I also didn't have an allowance, but I was an only child, so I just had, you know, you guys know. Being an only child for the win. People always ask, like, oh, weren't you lonely since you were an only child? Oh, God, no. I've always been pretty, like, to myself. I loved it, even as a very young kid. Never wanted a sibling. Pat says, I love ZBrush. I like that energy. Its controls, once you get the hang of them, they are very fast and comfortable. And my big thing is they're very customizable. And Brett says, sorry, subtools is what ZBrush calls meshes. Yeah, essentially. They're just pieces. Not to be confused with polygroups, which is like colored sections within a subtool. It's like a subtool within a subtool. Miniboy says, no, I love those wings. Oh no, we're gonna have them still. I'm just having them as a separate mesh in case I want to change them. Micah said, my full-blood siblings and I were all born in January. No kidding. How many siblings do you have? Because if you only have one other one, that's not like that crazy. But if you have like 5, that's pretty wild. Oh, Ricky has entered the chat. Run. All right, I want to add some more detail to these boots. We're gonna use Q-mesh and extrude to kind of get an interesting layered effect here. All right, so extrude and then Q-mesh. That's not Q-mesh, that's not working. Q-mesh, I feel so betrayed. Why are you not doing the one thing you're good at? What if I turn off symmetry? Will that make you happier? So the whole point about Q-mesh is it's supposed to snap to itself. But right now it's not wanting to do that. It's being a pain. That's okay. I've got many tricks. How about you snap to a Q mesh? No? Interesting. It's possible it's not wanting to work the way I'm expecting it to because there's multiple meshes here, so let's just simplify it. Let's just have this one piece and work from this. I've done this technique multiple times. I am tickled and annoyed that it's not wanting to work right now. I might have changed one of the settings, so if I could bring up B for brush palette and then reset brush settings, that will get me back to where I need to be. There we go, it's starting to snap and work. So I clicked on something. I probably clicked on something right here where it is attraction. It's normally normal attraction, but I might have accidentally clicked no. It's very sensitive, very, very sensitive. But you should totally learn ZBrush, it's fun, I promise. Mini Voice says, Mia, I don't remember you introducing yourself. Oh, that's true. Hi, my name is Mia. I make 3D printable models for a living. Let's be real, most of everyone here is regular Tavern peasants. I'm pretty sure y'all know who I am, but if you're new and lurking, now you know who I am. Everything I make on stream is a request that I got on Patreon. Very lucky to have a pretty loyal following and allows me to do what I love every single day. Now, as far as why I live stream it, I just do it because it's fun. It is turning into like a pretty viable side source of income, but for the most part, it's just fun for me to be able to hang out with you guys. All right, I went ahead and built up some armor there. Very nice, Maverick. That is my dog snoring in the background. That is not construction. Rob, first time here. Oh yes, never been here before. You definitely have not supported my art for multiple years or anything. Wasn't it like 2 days ago that you were the Tavern Keeper Craft? Wow, Ray, you're moving up. You have a whole 6 poing. Don't spend it all in the same place. Just kidding, you can't afford anything until you have 15. All right, we're almost at the end of Doors Open. We'll put a gentle peace treaty on the dueling, and then we will focus on creating tabletop 3D printing, all that goodness. But for now, go get your glory in the chat. Kev said, will the requested mini be available for all patrons? This one is phenomenal. Thank you, Kev. And yes, everything that I make on stream gets released on Patreon for everyone. Pat says, I'm a little lost right now. What are all those mugs? Oh, down here? Yeah, we have 6 of them. One of them's actually for Rob. If you're a member of the channel on YouTube, so there's a join button. I can put a link if you want. I make you a custom mug. So we got Non-Sleeper, Aloha, Satyr, Monkey, Wildfire, and Rob, which is the dragon on the far left. And then the eyeball is Satyr, because he's always watching. I think he's actually working right now and being good. Ray is spending all of their poing, just like that. Yeah, but yeah, mugs are for members. There should be a button somewhere below there where it says next to subscribe, it says join. Yeah, it has been a hot minute, Pet. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's been pretty fun. Things started to really take off once I started streaming every day. Today's my 15th day in a row, my new best. Which previously it was 14, then 13. So I'm currently on a streak of building my newest highest streak every single day. It's quite motivating. All right, let's make sure that these are low poly enough to not cause problems. There we go, that's probably as low as I can get away with. Are those mirrored? Yes. Satyr, Mia, being good. Don't put that mojo on me. Ricky Bobby. A lot of people in our close friend group call him Ricky Bobby. I love that. You fit right in. RB Gaming says, Mia, how many points do we need for a free D20 of Destiny roll? It's either 5 gold coin, real US dollars, as you know, or 200 poing. It's a lot. I plan for y'all to have to work for that. Pat says, man, I've been out for too long. You have, come back. Streamlabs has revolted. I did not turn it off. I think it just got tired of you guys, which is really funny. Oh, that's funny. Empress, she got tired of seeing the peasants fight. Oh no, I love it. I think it's great. We're still in the warm-up. You guys go nuts. Ray, you did get saved from yourself. But yeah, no, I didn't turn it off. I mean, yes, I totally did. I did that. All right, same thing. I put wings all over the place. But yeah, good job if you guys broke Streamlabs. I haven't named it Barley the Barkeep yet, but I'm going to. So we could say that he quit. He quit before he even started. Relatable. Yeah, there's been so many fun things to implement in the stream that it's hard to make time for it, but I'm finding a way. Oh, Streamlabs has come back after having a small fit. Streamlabs is back. Good Streamlabs bot. Yeah, the barkeep just wanted a smoke break, y'all. Sater says, how many points does it do if you don't assign a value? I don't know. You should go find out. What's the worst that could happen? Miniblaze asks, where did the scythe go? Did you hide it for now? I don't think I ever made one yet. I think we're just gonna focus on the pose first. Good question though. Answer is, honestly, I don't know. I have so many projects going right now. All right, there's so many pieces here that I'm not going to be able to finish it completely before we start the main event today, but I made some good progress. I love that I have this dueling thing going on. I feel like you all can entertain each other. It's great. RB says, Mia, I got 1 roll. Right, how do you have 1 roll? Do you have 200? Did you really manage that? Oh my god, that'd be really impressive. Yeah, buy the roll. What the heck? I have to verify this. I expected this to take a while. Oh my god, you did get over 200. Holy crap. Okay, the next highest only has 34. Wow, RB. Okay, I guess you're just lucky. Yes, ma'am. Okay, all right, all right. It is exclamation point, redeem, D20. And they should pop it up on the screen and it should do math for me. But that's the command. Yeah, he robbed you, Ricky, and Micah. You won every duel. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Micah, 150 from me. Completely fine with it. You even got like a special bonus today too. Bummer. It's okay. It's going towards a good cause. Oh, ZBrush just had a fit. I wasn't even asking you to do anything. I guess that's fine. That's fine. Totally not mad about that. I just tried to save it and had a meltdown. Okay. Usually when ZBrush crashes because I'm doing something clicking. Yeah, just Lingual, you're not even on the list anymore. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call this test to see if it will save or if there's a problem with the file. Nope, it was just a weird thing that popped up. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, ZBrush is also revolting. Guys, you were inspiring a riot. I'm sorry, Ricky. Ray says, Mia, is the discussion of AI and art considered political with how chaotic it can get? It is allowed in small doses. Permitted. Yeah, it's exclamation point, redeem, D20. And then it can spend it. Obviously, I can just manually make that happen. How weird. ZBrush keeps crashing. That is so odd. Okay. All right, you have successfully redeemed. All right, very good, very good. I will get that going. Time for the peasants to pay taxes. I think so. I think we're gonna be reset, y'all. I mean, that's fine. Most of y'all only have 230 points or less. Oh, Mini Blaze is crawling up there, though. Amazing. All right, let's get your D20 roll going. Actually, hadn't even grabbed it yet. Whoop. I wasn't even ready for this. This is great. You're not getting advantage though. It's just a normal roll. All right, let's see what you get. You rolled an 8. I updated the table too, so I don't know what it's going to be. All right, an 8 used to be a Maverick cameo, but for today, you officially have doubled happy hour. So instead of happy hour being 30 minutes, I'm going to extend it to a full hour. So everyone thanks RB, because that made the stream a whole half hour longer, which is another half hour for students, revisions, general dueling nonsense, and general chaoticness. Very good. Thank you, RB. Thank you, thank you. Reaper. Oh, come on. I want the D20. Oh, awesome. All right. But yeah, more half hour. Let's go. Again, everyone thank RB because they made that happen. Amazing, amazing. RB does get all the cool ones. My goodness. They're a blessing to this stream. They really are. Oh, we got a new sub too. Ooh, that's a fun one to say. Zeppard art. Well, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. If you're a lurker in the stream, double thank you. If you just happen to watch another video and you're not even here, I just send good vibes your way. Alrighty. I'm giving Taylor a bonus for no good reason. I'm extremely biased, so I'm just like, you know what? There, you get a little bonus. You get a little closer. Just Lingual says, can I redeem a critique if not a student, but spend 300 points? I didn't think about that. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't need to be 300. Yay, pity point. Yeah, but no, I can do that. Seriously, Just Lingual. I can do review. It costs 100, not 300. That's too expensive. Emperor says, Mia, how many projects would you say are progressing at the same time usually? Great question. I don't know. I can't keep any of that in my brain, so I have a spreadsheet. This is my spreadsheet. So all of the in progress, I'm working on that. Yeah. So I have that many going on. Good question. Look at all the 2 pose versions too. Every one of those is double the work. What I do for my peasants. But yeah, if you are a creative, I encourage you, don't write anything. Don't keep anything in your head. Write everything down. I can't remember anything. Just Lingual said, seriously? That makes my day, kind of. Yeah, of course. Empress, no. Spreadsheet evil. Satyr, bad. Bad peasant. No biting. Oh, Taylor's here. Yes, I am furious. Oh, that's right, because I didn't give you any other Taylor. I'm so sorry. Ray says, that spreadsheet auto update. No, I have to update it like a peasant. So whenever I finish stuff, I go here and I drop down to finished or in progress. And then for this one, I click on ready, so Ricky knows it's ready to be posed on his side. Auto update would be fancy. I have to have a script that records my screen, and then I'd have to like some sort of visual cue for that script to then update that. That's way too much work. Kev asks, how do you get 2 poses? Yeah, let's do a quick little review about my character creator workflow. I haven't done that on stream yet, and I would love to share that with you guys. Okay. I have 1 available right now, and let's talk about it. So this is how Ricky poses things in Character Creator 4. This is just OBS. Don't panic. All right, so this is my character that I had in ZBrush. I fully sculpted this on stream. Let me make sure I pause ads. Whenever I teach you guys, YouTube is like, nope. Okay, so yes, we're in Character Creator. Here's a little module called Pose Tools that is a plugin from Character Creator 4. And essentially we just send it on over. Once you send it on over, you just isolate the body and you grab all these different little nodes and you position them to where they're gonna belong. It gives you a guide in the upper right-hand corner of where those nodes belong. This is not a tutorial, this is a little overview. Think of it a little inspiration. You'd have to watch this video a lot of times to actually be able to copy. And that's A-okay. They do have tutorials that are more in depth online. I can make one if you guys need me to. So yeah, you position all those little nodes, you bind skin, and then you have bones, just like that. So joints, then bones. Now that we have bones, you kind of fine tune those as well and do the same thing for the hands. It also gives you a little guide of what you should be shooting for. After that, you go ahead and layer up all the clothes that will be bending with the model. So you don't want like metal pieces to bend. Pants, yes. Shirt, yes. A metal breastplate, no. That will just sit on the bone. And what's fun is once you have it done, Ricky does a fun little like auto test to make sure that the animation is working. And this is his little test animation. It's so cool. It's like he's just coming to life. He's like, oh, very cool. I can move now. So once that's all done, then they have a library, they being my husband, has a library of previous poses they've done. You can actually see the Warforge and the Rhino Folk right here. So he can rebuild from previous poses that he has created or make something completely from scratch. In this case, I think he grabbed something from Thor. Yeah, this is Thor with his hammer, actually, if you guys remember that. He's like this. Anyway, and then he went ahead and tweaked that. So here he is positioning the Chaos Bowie knives. And there you go. So that is that first pose pretty much complete. That gets exported for me to fix in ZBrush because there's tons of clipping and it's kind of, there's lots of problem to fix. But this is a good first step and it still saves us a lot of time. And then here he is making that second pose where instead he positioned them like this. So yes, that's how you get 2 poses done in Character Creator. And then he spits them back into ZBrush. And then it's my problem. There you go. I did all the post-processing for this on our last weekend stream during the silent stream. Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please let me know. Did Aloha break something? Oh, interesting. Yeah, Aloha, it's been having a problem with you. Like when I try to send you points, it says it can't find you. Ricky live streams when? He was summoned by the D20 of Destiny. Aloha did break something. Ray says, oh, this is very similar to AccuRig. Yes, and actually the thing that you use in Character Creator 4, I think, is called AccuRig. It doesn't like you. That's okay, whatever. Can you duel at least, or no? Is the Character Creator 4 license perpetual? Yes. Yes, it is. That deserves confetti. I agree. If I need a break, I'll just bring Ricky in here to work on Character Creator. How's that? Yeah, I want to see... Aloha, I might need to delete you entirely. I'm sorry. Alright, Aloha has 9 points. I'm going to delete you, so you're not going to exist anymore in my database. You've been deleted. I know. And maybe when you resummon, when you reincarnate, maybe it will work. Ray says, yep, that makes sense. Mini Blaze says, can we get a link for that? Can someone put it in the chat? I don't feel like finding it. Empress, well, another thing to save money for. Isn't that the truth? Bray says, poor Ricky. Rigging and animating suck. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Aloha just got evaporated. Bye forever, Aloha. No, they should be able to come back. It should be okay. Oh my god, Aloha, please say something. Are you still there? Okay, you're still there. I was all worried, like, if I actually got rid of you. The DM smite. Okay, you guys are distracting as heck. We are beginning the Tavern Keeper's Craft. Also, nobody redeemed Moo, which is very hurtful, so I'm gonna do it. Bam. I'm gonna spin my coin. Because Moo is already on the table. It sets out lilies for Aloha. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't even have enough. Whatever. I am the stream. Anyway, okay. We're going to talk about today's project. Today we're working on the Pirate Druid construct. This is a request from Blue Jester, also known as Micah, in the chat. Micah has supported my art for 44 months, which is incredible. Why do I say months instead of years? One, it sounds more dramatic, and that happens to be the way Patreon counts it, and I'm not going to divide by 12. Thank you so much. You've been great. These requests are fantastic. Oh, hey, no one paint paid for the tavern pet. Thank you. Mo is here because of you. You know what? Since Paint paid attention, you're going to get that full redeem back because I was supposed to spend that and I didn't. I'm going to cause problem. You get 25 for that. 25 points to Gryffindor. Okay. Here's what we're working on today. I'm not going to read the whole description because it's epic, but the general bit of it, it's a pirate druid. Just think mostly pirate. But you know, like on the front of pirate ships, they have those like beautiful pieces of art, like mermaids and pretty women, that kind of stuff. That's what it is, but come to life. So it's a ship figurehead construct, which is a druid of the wreck. I'm probably just going to label it as a pirate construct in my vault, but I wanted to make sure I called it pirate druid for the stream, so you guys know that there's a lot more to it. Yeah, so she served as the figurehead of a ship that smuggled goods from one territory to another. As she didn't need to breathe, she could not only perform maintenance on the ship underwater when they were anchored away from any settlements, she could also attach certain smuggled goods to the exterior of the ship far below the waterline. Pretty cool. There's a bad storm and she sinks. No employer. She's had to move on. All right. Here is the sketch they provided. There's a couple really important key things to note here. The fishnet's really cool. The spear with the conch shell. Her shield is a ship wheel. Right around her neck here, it's a little hard to tell with the color, but it's actually her mantle is the jawbone of a shark. And then the top is a repurposed bit of a sail. I don't know how I'm gonna make it look like a repurposed sail. Probably gonna look like a shirt, but it's still a very cool detail to know. She does have little barnacles on her face. And that's all the main key elements. I've listed a lot of those right here. Barnacles in all caps, if you know, you know. That was a fun stream. What was that? That was when Ricky took over. And then we have a bunch of excellent references. Thank you to Ray, Mini Blaze, Blue Jester, of course. Satyr was part of this as well. Anyone else that I missed? Oh, and Rob. You guys are great. So I'm going to skim through here and grab any screenshots of things that I think are going to be really useful and put them into my like master reference board. Paint says, wait, can we have guilds and houses for the different art groups in the tavern or stream? Yes, we can. Currently in Discord, we have different roles under rules and roles. If you react with a little farmer, you get a tavern peasant role, for example. We have tavern peasant, 3D artist, and mini painter, but I could name these more fun things, perhaps. I'll toy with that idea. That is fun as heck. All right, any other grabs? Cool, I don't see my name, so I'm moving on. You guys are too interesting. My dog is he is snoring away. Good boy. Alrighty. So right now I'm grabbing references that are going to be really key to making this design flourish. I'm also toying with the idea that if I bookmark or pin your comment, I'll give you poing as well. All right, I'm gonna scroll from the top here. And I'm just grabbing any pieces that I think that are key. That's pretty darn helpful. This is a great reference for a lot of reasons. One, it's high quality images, but also it is a collage and there's lots of different angles. I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you. That gets a pin. I always forget what barnacles look like. Yet another collage. Is this made in a pure ref? Is this in pure ref? Did you make this yourself? That's wonderful. If you did, I'm going to give you a point for that. Pin message. Okay, goodness. Ray is on a tear right now. These are all really helpful. I think I have this all. I want just these two. The ship wheel, I like. Always nice to have actual images of sails. And then lots of different figureheads. I'm going to reference this to kind of get the general vibe. Maybe the stoicism. Those are pretty cool. There's a better one. Ooh, that's very on the nose and what we need. Some possible tops. I'm gonna layer it up with the skirt. I like that. It's a fun pose and a really cool potential base. I would love to make a model like this. It looks like it's underwater, kind of like diorama-esque. We all know how much Mia loves to do cloth bulbs. You got it. These are so fun. So yeah, when I do these posts in Discord, you can just share general vibe pictures too. Like Mini Blaze is killing it. This is exactly the kind of stuff I like to see. Some barnacles. All right, Blue Jesper says definitely be discolored. Older ship sails. Sounds good. Rated items. Very good. Whenever I see the requester, I like to really make sure that there's no changes to the original design, just in case. At the end of the day, these are all Patreon requests, not commissions, so I do have a lot of leeway, but I like to stay pretty true to the requester. Blue Jester, not much of a visual artist. You do great. That is a super cute cover-up for a swimsuit. That's a clever way to solve that problem of fishnet. Some more fishnet I've done. And then it'd be interesting if I challenge myself to sculpt the hair like that, but there's a curlier hair happening in that picture. I think I'm gonna stick to that. All right, I think I got all of the references I needed, and then you guys are having a nice little chat. Very good. Aloe was evaporated. All right, I think we are all ready to get rolling. Let me go ahead and add all the references I screenshotted to my other monitor over here. I got quite the setup going on. Ooh, that's a great one, Taka. Is that from, what game is that? Is that Elden Ring? No, it looks too grimy. That looks like a Souls-like of some sort, but older. Peyton says, I like the starting drawing. Me too. It shows a lot of what you need. Yeah, that's why I love Micah stuff, because it's a big like text block of like the backstory, but then they get to like they summarize it again and they provide this great sketch. It's like the perfect request. It's everything I like. Yes, with fine china little details on her dress and construct body. Okay, so I need to add some ornamentation after the fact. And don't worry, for the maid construct, I haven't forgotten about the hidden blade. I'm just gonna wait to do it until I pose her. Okay, we are all very excited about Bone Wheel. Am I not? Yeah, Dark Souls. Cool. I know it's a Souls-like, but it's not Souls-like. It is the Souls-like. Yeah, Aloha is back. 1 second. I must see if I can add points to Aloha. Because I had to evaporate them, they get points. If it can find you. Unable to find Aloha. Dude, I have no idea. Let me look at your channel and see if like your name has a space before it. It's Aloha_XX. What the heck? Dude, I have no idea why I can't find you. Does the tag work? Dude, I have no idea. I will troubleshoot that later though. Oh, you know what? This doesn't matter. I am all powerful. Let me just go to Streamlabs directly. But this doesn't solve that nobody can battle you, and that's kind of important. whatever. I have manually edited it on my side in Streamlabs, so you should have 25 point. Anyway, moving on. Also, the bangs are not banging today. That's a-okay. I'm gonna pull my hair back really quick, and then we will start the kit bashing phase. If you're new here, essentially, I've made 3 printable models for tabletop games for 6 years now. So I have this big old library of things that I draw from. All of these were originally created for one character in mind, but now I use them to, just as I mentioned, if you're not familiar with kit bashing, it's pretty much like, you'll see, but for the first 15 minutes here, I kind of just like puzzle piece stuff together to like rapidly concept. Yeah, Aloha is just too powerful. What the heck? Aloha, like, does it at least show your name in like color? Like, is it doing it correctly? Why isn't it working? I'm so annoyed that of all people, like, it's not like showing you. It does add to the lore though. It really does. Aloha, I think I've actually just ascended. You have such a good attitude. All right. Here is my beginning ZPR. By going up to the top, which you guys cannot see because my face is here, see right here, the body and then these little stars. Up here, these are all called tools. So I switch to different tools. This is actually where I keep my asset libraries. So the way that it works is that ZBrush, you have a ZBrush project file. That's the main housing. Under that, you have tools, and under tools, you have subtools. So that's like the hierarchy here. So again, this is my ZBrush file. Here is a tool, another tool, another tool, and then within this, all these other pieces here, these are subtools. That makes sense? They're just pieces within pieces. All right, so what I do is I made this base mesh using ZBuilder, which is something I purchased on Gumroad, and then did some modifications myself, just to make it my own. Make the proportions I like, bulk up some muscles, change the facial features quite a bit to match more of my style. So I also have a male base mesh, but for obvious reasons. We do not need this Chad. That does not make for a very nice mermaid. All right, this is our starting point. So we'll put a little screenshot up here so we can have a reminder of how far we've come. All right, the next thing we're going to do is review my asset library and see what I got going here. Micah, if you're still here, I see like her hair is kind of like curly, it looks like. Is it curly or is it coily? I'm curious because I do have hairstyles for that. Like I have like a proper like afro, braids, cornrows, all that kind of stuff. And I could see that being working either way. If not, I'll probably default to more of like this flowy hairstyle. But I wanted to ask if you meant like curly or coily. Yeah, I'll be doing quite a few new assets today for sure. Rob says, I have to duck out. It's my D&D day. Have fun. Thanks for stopping by. All right, while I wait to see if Jester resummons, or Micah is there. So I'll wait for you to see if you answer the hair preference. I'm gonna move on to the next piece here. I know they have a bandana. So I have the bandana selected in this tool. I'm gonna swap to this body subtool and then click on append. This will allow me to grab from other tools. Subtools to tools, tool, subtool. I know, it sounds like a disaster, but once you get comfortable with it, I swear it makes sense. All right, we're gonna go with a bit more of a desaturated red. I do like the color scheme that you provided with the red and greens here, so I'm gonna follow it somewhat closely. All right, that's roughly how that's gonna be positioned. And then it looks like the back of the bandana is actually quite long. So each piece that I add, I'm not gonna like fully detail right from the get-go. We're just getting the pieces loosely blocked in. This takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we start refining and making custom assets as needed for the character. There we go. Goodness. So I'm using my transpose line to make this much longer. And here's a great example of why I keep these assets, because very quickly I can make a different style of bandana with these much longer tails. It kind of fits the reference better. Alrighty. For the top, we'll need to make that from scratch. I think I will at least look at the tops. Justin will ask Mia, do you have a favorite sailor's tale? You know, now that you've asked that, I have a distinct lack of knowledge of sailor's tales, honestly. No eye patch. Just seeing if there's any other pieces I want from here. I don't think so. All right, up next, she's gonna have like a tattered skirt. I can start with this one. I've actually been getting a lot of use out of this recently. Maybe this will work better though, to then rip up. Micah asked Mia, well, as per her original reference, she designed and painted to be more Caribbean influence. Is that referring to the hair? I was just asking, is it like a wavy or is it like coily? Is it poofy or not poofy? Oh, new subscriber. Thank you, Stacy. All right, and then I think I'm gonna use this base to kind of have like this tattered skirt. Obviously, this was actually made for a witch skirt originally. That's why it has the little like spider web. We're not gonna have that. But for the layering, it's actually gonna fit this character quite nicely. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Ray asked Mia, when you're stretching your meshes, are you using tessellate or anything similar? The thing that adds topology is stretch. Yeah, in ZBrush, that's called Sculptris Pro. No, I don't use it. I manipulate my meshes very, very carefully. When I'm actually creating them, oh yeah, I use Dynamesh and ZRemesher all the time. And then Micah says, I had browser temporarily froze on my typing. I could hear but not see or type. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't like Sculptris, but similar to why I don't like Blender, I don't have a good reason. I just don't like it. I find it unnecessary. All right, this is a good start. She doesn't have shoes. She just has like these like barnacle things. Okay, very good. No hip bracers, none of that. Alrighty. And we are moving right along. And then again, for the top, I might use this as a starting point and then sculpt over it because I like the flowiness of the fabric. The top looks kind of more like a crop top though. I'm confused by this top. Can we talk about the top? Is it a halter top? What is going on? I know I like it, but like, is it like just like a necklet? Like how does it connect to her boobs? I don't understand what's keeping it up. There's a ring right here, it looks like. That's kind of cool. Oh, I kind of understand. Okay, whether that was super intentional or not, this ring and the piece of fabric behind it is really cool. I'm starting to understand how this is rigged up. I was missing that ring. Ah, okay. You don't have to answer. I figured it out, but you're welcome to elaborate if you'd like to. Okay. So I can follow that reference more closely than I expected. Very good. And I'm not even going to bother importing a shirt. We're going to make that from scratch. Micah says, Mia, I've got wavy curly hair, but completely different as I'm Caucasian. I'd say it's about the same as an afro, but frizzy. Not a hairstylist. Describe better. Sorry. Okay. Sounds good. Today, my hair is just poofy, so this is a bad example, but like more like mine or more like this. I do have a proper afro. Wow, it wants to fly off the screen. Let's do here. I know this is gonna be a really good in between. I'm probably gonna add some braids. I'm gonna use this one All right, I have a solution. Sorry, I asked you a question, like immediately answered it myself. Because this isn't gonna look the way that you want it to from the get-go, but just trust the process. That is super helpful. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is exactly what I needed because my brain was immediately throwing it away and I'm like, fuck, what was it supposed to be? That's the top. Thank you. A million point to Ray. I'm just kidding. You get 0 point for that, but you get, I don't know, you get cool points. Yeah, humidity is up today. The curls are not curling, but it's okay. We got vibes. Sea salt is good for curly hair, right? Yes, but not too much. That is so helpful. Ray, yay. But in all lowercase, that's especially funny to me. It comes across very dry. Alrighty. I'm opening up my weapons really quick here because I really want to make sure I have all the pieces. The conch shell staff is going to be very important. I don't think I have a shell like that, but I can grab a staff just to start with. That'll be fine as a base. Just need to get all these pieces put together. Obviously, we don't need an ankh on top. That is what that's called. I might not be pronouncing it correctly. A-N-K-H. Ankh. All right, and I liked that you had it kind of a darker color here with that pinkish shell. We'll add that later. Wendelier, a rival currency. What is the exchange rate between pulling and cool points? No, they are not exchangeable. One is a permanent buff to your character sheet, and the other one is spendable. Once you have a cool point, you will never lose it. You forever are blessed with a cool point. It can only go up, never down. Oh, maybe this one would fit a little better. All right, it doesn't super matter. Let's be real, I'm gonna make a new asset for it anyway. All right, and I wanna bring in my items subtool, like master thing, because I think I have a ship wheel. Heck yeah, I do. Perfect. This is why I keep random little things. I never know when I'm gonna need them. Did you guys know I modeled an entire pirate ship? If you go onto Amazon, one of the listings for a Lego resin is a pirate ship. That's me, I made that. And that's where this wheel comes from. And in case you're wondering, yes, they did ask for permission. A Lego is fantastic. And they sent me a bunch of free stuff. So I am very a Lego loyal. All right, I'm gonna grab this net. Lots of pieces, lots of piratey pieces. I think I even have a barnacle. I do. All right. So I'm gonna use this barnacle to quickly make a bunch. I'm gonna make a custom brush out of that. I'll show you guys how I do that later on. There's a lot we're gonna go over during this stream. Lots of good stuff. I kind of like the hook. I don't know if I'm gonna end up using it, but the fishing hook is cool. So I'm just gonna put it next to this for vibes. Ray says, Mia, it might be interesting if the skirt ends up being asymmetrical. Oh, absolutely. I love a good asymmetry moment. Sater says, Mia, you said it right. Oh yeah, Ankh. Ankh. Mia got bribed by Lego. It's true. Micah mentions that, yes, it's material stolen from the Rex Treasure, so not really a dressmaker, but it started off as fine silk. Okay. And yes, you guys are all spelling a Lego wrong, all of you. This is very funny. A Lego. There, I spelled it for y'all. I like that Mini Blades corrected Reaper, but also spelled it wrong. Good shot. Good attempt. Do you want to put like a spine glass on her head or some rope? It's not in the original design. That might be a little cluttered, but if we want to put stuff on her hip, we got options. Yes, Maverick. Oh my gosh. Do you guys see how tightly wrapped he is? Look. Oh, there's his head. I summoned you. Oh, you look so crabby. You guys see his little angry, hateful black face? Look how tiny he is. Right there. That's his face. My dog is ink black. All right, this is our first progress point. Maybe not the most awe-inspiring, but this is what the end of kit bashing looks like. From here on, the magic starts to happen. Let's put our first screenshot for posterity's sake. Smile. Step uno. Micah says, Mia, I'd be absolutely fine with any other befitting things I'd work with her. Of course you would, because you're great. Oh yeah, maybe don't quote that, Ray. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I zoned out and heard that. Yeah, I brought you back. That's a good one out of context. Alrighty. Continuing on. Okay, so I'm going to take all these pieces for now. I'm going to merge them down so they're out of my way. So I'm just going through each one and polygrouping them kind of chaotically. And now I'm just going to merge everything down. I could put it in a folder, but there's no subdiv level, so like, it doesn't really matter. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is add a base. I like to add a base earlier on than I used to. I find it's very, very helpful. I don't have a master tool for an ocean base, so we'll be making that somewhat new today. I'm going to start with just my plain, no decorations, nice and boring. We'll keep it this sandy color. Kind of rotate it down. These are all scaled to print at 28mm scale and 3D printed like this. But I don't measure it till the end. So if it doesn't look perfectly accurate, it's because it's not. Don't worry about it. I'll handle it later. All right, let's go ahead and Dynamesh this. And then I kind of want, she doesn't have to breathe. Maybe I'll make this kind of like some deep sea blue. Go with some color spray, which is one of my favorites. Just a little bit here. Kind of like a half and half. And then putting in some coral would be lovely. Definitely a pearl necklace. That could be nice. Sater said insect glaive. You grabbed my attention. Why are we talking about insect glaives? That's my main in Monster Hunter. Yeah, oh, definitely a shark jaw mantle. Yes, that will be the mantle for sure. Absolutely. Ooh, seaweed on the base. You know, I have a bunch of really nice ocean bases, so let's kind of look at those and chop those up. Yeah, pirate collection bases. I have a whole pirate collection. Sand and coral, spotted waves. Why do I not have any seaweed? The heck? I definitely have seaweed. All right, I don't want to have to chop up a base. I'm going to grab assets I've already created. I need to download them though. If you have a 3D printer and you're not checking out my Patreon, you should. I have a bajillion things to print. And I don't like get cute with it. If you subscribe, you just get everything. I think there's 1,000 models. All right, I got some coral reefs. I have a coral reef set, which, it's empty. Of course it is, because I've named multiple things the same folder and I don't move them. All right, here's our render. All these pieces will be perfect for this base. So let me go ahead and just download that. I'm only gonna download the supportless ones because I don't like making my bases need supports. I think the base should just print. All right, got all that downloaded. I grabbed some seaweed as well. And then, yeah, I forgot to talk about this earlier because I just spaced it. I share a free STL on Patreon every single day. So if you're like, this seems cool, but I'm not convinced. This is an old model, but it's still really sweet. This is a Catboat Cleric. This is one of my earliest. But yeah, I share a new model every single day, including the pre-supported. And then we just hit 50 likes on this post, which means tomorrow there'll be 2 freebies. Pretty cool. And the reminder that you can join the community for free. Someone link the Patreon, please. Alrighty. Moving right along, let's get some more pieces added in here. And then I also want to utilize my layer brush, change this to drag rectangle, and then some dots. There we go. Just to get some of that sandy texture. Oh, thank you, Mini Blaze. Even better. And Sater for tagging the freebie. Thank you, thank you. All right. It's very bumpy. A little too bumpy. No, I like it. So one thing to keep in mind that when you're importing stuff into ZBrush, it overwrites the subtool you have selected. So make sure you duplicate a piece first and then let that overwrite when you import. All right, so I'm gonna download, grab some seaweed per request of Mini Blaze. We're gonna make a beautiful, like, little underwater scene here. Oh, it is a base. Oh, this is not what I wanted. Just kidding. We'll grab something else. That is like an ancient base. No, we can do better than that. No. Alrighty, let me go ahead and open up this zip folder. There we go. And then overwrite this really old base. It's fine. It's fine. There's a seaweed cluster. Oh yeah, and join our Discord too. We're super fun. And if you have any interest in 3D printing or tabletop, you'll definitely find your niche. We have a lot of 3D artists there too. So I'm going to take my time creating this base and really do a nice job for 2 reasons. 1, because every model request deserves lots of love. But 2, I don't have a master file for a nice underwater base. So we're going to create one right now. Mini Blaze says, I think kelp would look good. I agree. I'm adding some short stuff that looks kind of like that right now. My dog is snoring so loud, it doesn't bother me, but if it's for some reason getting on your guys' nerves, let me know and I can ask my husband to move him to the loft. He's a really good boy. He party hard. He party hardy. I know it really depends on like what headphones you're using, so some of y'all probably can't hear him at all. Others, he's probably like vibrating your house, so sorry. Reaper, and I'm the one 2D artist. I like it. Be brave, be unique. All welcome. But it's true, we don't have as many 2D artists. So if you are a lurking 2D artist, go lurk in there. All right, we have the beginning of a pretty fun coral base here. So you'll notice that when I'm designing stuff, I don't really stay in one area for too long. I spent a little bit of time on the base, a little bit of time on the coral, and now I'm gonna move on back to the main part of the character. Also, don't forget we have all these other nice pieces grabbed here. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is work on her face a little bit. Alrighty. So I like these really strong bangs. They're very nice, but in this case, they need to fit underneath the bandana. So I'm gonna use my move brush and just kind of scoot them back. All right. I think it's just the hat. Very good. I'm going to turn on transparency so that we can actually see how it's fitting to her head. You want it to be pretty uniform. There we go. And it won't sit that far back. I'm doing all these adjustments with just one brush. This is all just the move brush. I kind of like if it's a little crooked. I think it looks really cute. All right, I want to add a lot more volume to her hair, kind of like as if she's underwater. And I'm probably going to add a bunch of little braids to add further elements of detail. All right, her hair looks better, so guess what? That means we move on. Don't get stuck in any one place when you're this early on with a character. Get a little bit done, just move on. Oh yeah, if you don't refresh the page, it doesn't show the like counter. No, we're at 16. You guys are doing great. If you are new and haven't liked the channel or stream, whatever, go ahead if you're having a good time. It definitely helps. All right, now it's time to work on this character and her face a bit more. So she's a construct, and in her concept artwork, she has kind of like this really heavy dark eyeliner. I'm gonna go with just a really dark eyeshadow instead. The poly paint doesn't actually super matter. It doesn't affect the 3D print. It's just a fun thing that we do here. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of like really heavy dramatic makeup. I'm gonna change this from drag rectangle to dots. Click on the letter C on your keyboard when you're hovered over a color you want to select, and then you can really quickly pivot. I think it'd be fun if her lips were kind of the same color as her hair. All right, we're gonna get her features a bit more sharp. And I think a wider brow would look good. Bit of a more of an intense look, kind of piratey, kind of witchy. Again, faces are very sensitive. This comes together quite quickly, so when you are doing this, be careful. I'm actually going to remove all the poly paint for now and work on her face a touch more. She's a construct, so I really can play with the features being quite sharp here. There we go, something a bit more extreme. I don't know how I managed to update that sticker in like this chaotic moment, but it kind of updated itself. That is fine. I want our features to be sharp, but not too sharp. So let's go back with our clay brush and add some volume back. If you remove all the fat from the face, it ends up looking a lot less feminine and kind of eerie. So you always think like, oh, like a movie star, you want like that sharp jawline and sharp features. It's more of like drawing attention to interesting features. You don't actually want to remove all the fat from their face. That's why celebrities that got their buccal fat removed look insane. Pro tip, don't do that. Unless you want to just age terribly. Oh, that's why. So Mike was explaining why they have like the dark circles. Just on the base reference that they use. I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't dig the color scheme for her, so I'm changing it up a bit. So Mini Blaze, since you're one of my students, I'm going to pick on you, lovingly, of course. I noticed that you're kind of asking like, oh, like since she's like a ship head, figurehead construct, like it's going to limit her range of expression, which is true, and like how it's going to look. You want to follow the rules first before you break them. So that's why whenever I'm creating constructs, I make a normal looking human first, and then I make it look like a construct. So essentially, like, I don't sculpt something weathered right from the start. If you're going to sculpt like a weathered table, you just sculpt a normal table to start, and then you add the weathering in. Same thing goes for here. I'm finding her facial features first, and then the weathering in the segments will actually be a detail that will complement what's already there. It's a tricky line to catch. So I say I'm picking on you, but not really. I just saw an opportunity to explain a little bit. And then make sure not to get lost in a lot of these details. Like Micah's providing a lot of really good information here. Like for example, in the eyes rotating in their socket to where she looks. It's an interesting, cool like flavor bit, but it's not actually going to reflect in the 3D model. So don't get too locked down on that. Don't get too stuck. The flavor is important for sure. But I think new artists especially get really confused. Like, oh, like how do I show like locked eyes in a 3D model? It's like, you don't worry. Especially because the 3D model is going to print looking like this. No color. Obviously, Micah, keep sharing details. I love flavor. I love knowing all about it. Yeah, I love this. Micah, great point. Micah says, also the ship figureheads tend to be modeled after women. So human-like, some very realistic. But her being a construct affects the expression. Exactly. So she's not going to be walking around like this. Like we're not going to... She'll be more on the stoic, stiff side for sure. Hey, Lance is here. Hi, welcome back. All right, let's add a little bit more makeup here. I do love a smoky eye looking more piratey. There we go. Beautiful. All right, I spent a little bit more time on the face just because I was talking about it, but usually I don't spend that much time in one spot. We're moving on. Micah says, absolutely. Just explain how in lore, it still have some expression. Obviously, mains don't change expression as you play, etc. Exactly, exactly. Taka says, in 10 years, we will have mains that can change expressions. That would be sick. Agreed. All right, we made some good progress here. I still want to keep messing with her face because I have more things I want to do. But it will be there later. I can deal with it later. As I keep messing with it. Mia, stop. Mia, move on. I just want to mess with it. Okay. Scrolling up really quick to look at this top that Ray provided because it is perfect. All right, so it is a halter top. Here, so we're creating our first brand new asset from scratch today, so pay attention. Alrighty, so we have two elements here, the center ring and then the actual blouse. So we're not going to include the center ring. The way you do this is you pretty much paint on the shape that you want. Taking my time, I'm using the mask brush. You enable the mask brush by holding Control on your keyboard. Gonna make sure there's actually quite a bit of spacing here. That way it doesn't merge together on accident. I can refine the mask by inverting it. That's holding Control and clicking outside of the mesh to either add or remove to the mask. Once I have a shape I mostly like, I'll click on Extract, Accept, and now I have a new mesh, also known as a new subtool. To fit it to the body better, I like using the 3D gizmo, holding Command, and then inflating the whole mesh just a touch. Just saves me a lot of time. there we go. That top came together pretty darn quick. We're gonna click fill object to give it this off-white color. And now we'll bring in that ring. Very nice. ZBrush already has a ring mesh. So let's go ahead and grab that. And then I'm going to Z-remesh with half enabled to get a lower poly look. It'll just make it look a little more metallic and sectioned. Here, I'll show you guys. In just a moment. ZBrush is having a fit. Nope. There we go. So go to Z-remesh with half enabled right up here. Your ZBrush UI will not look like this. This is a custom one that I built, so I got all my buttons in the places I want. So see, as I keep remeshing it, we're losing faces and definition, but in this case, that lower poly look looks more like a metal link. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna go with a gold color just so it contrasts the rest of her body. All right. That's gonna fit right here under her breasts, and then we'll grab the shirt and pull it over. As far as how it's gonna link together and like the ruching on the sides, that is a detail we will handle later. Perfect. All right, we got that first new asset blocked out. All right. Taylor says, which one here is Reaper? The other one. Taylor is Reaper, but not Taylor Brownie. That is you. I'm scrolling up to make sure I didn't miss any ats. I think we're good. Yes. Ray says, the character in the drawing has some ruffles at the top next to it. I don't think so. I think it's just like the fabric folds on itself, but the ruffle is actually the jawbone of a shark. All right, so for our next bit here, we're actually going to start splitting this skirt into different segments. There we go. Let's give them some different coloring so I can actually distinguish the two. One a bit more of a green hue. Perfect. All right. Let's get that all situated. It is going to be asymmetrical because everybody loves a good asymmetry moment. All right, as far as the length, it looks like it falls just past her knees in the reference. So we'll do the same thing here. She also has a pretty simple belt. Let's go ahead and create that. Here's a really easy way to create a belt. You need to make sure that your base mesh doesn't have any subdivision levels. Then click on Curve Strap Snap. That's a curve brush. It's default within ZBrush. Click and drag and hold down Shift. And there you go. You might need to change your draw size to get just the right shape that you want. That's pretty much it. After that, continue some shaping and add a little bit of poly paint. Bam, you got a brush. A brush, a belt. Words, words. But again, the big key thing I want to keep stressing to all my students that are watching right now is that I don't stay stuck in the same area for very long. Keep on moving. Stay low poly. Stay quick. And it's not about being in a rush. It's just about not getting hung up in any one area. I want there to be different sections of fabric, so I'm actually going to mirror this one piece and throw it on her other hip, just making sure it's much shorter. That way it doesn't look too samey. There we go. Mini Play says, curve, snap, strap. Say that several times fast. No kidding. Ray says, fair, fair. My eyesight is terrible. Sometimes I get it wrong. Not a problem. I get it wrong sometimes too. Sater says, kind of reminds me of Nami from One Piece. Yeah, I can't help it. That's how she's turning out a little bit. I haven't even read all of One Piece or even close because it's not even done yet. But she's so cool. Her vibes are so cool. So it's definitely bleeding through a little bit. Corey says, Mia, how do you move on when the part I'm working on doesn't seem right? I just move on. I don't think any of this is quite right yet, but I'm like, is it serving the purpose it's designed for? So her hair should do two things. One, it should look like hair. And two, it should have some volume to it to affect the silhouette. Looks like hair. Check. Has volume. Move on. The shirt. It should be a crop top with a ring. Boobs should be covered. Nipples are not out. Two elements. Great. Move on. So I pretty much like, what is the purpose of the item? Move on. So I just keep doing that. So in your case, if you're working like dragon feet, are there toes? Yep. Do you have some toenails? Yep. Looks like a foot, kind of. Yep. Move on. And then obviously you'll come back and refine it, but just keep that cycle moving. Corey, Mia, I just get stuck. In that case, set a timer for 10 minutes. Make it really simple. This has been so much fun. I'm going to take a second and just sit here for a moment. My brain's feeling full, so I'm going to do nothing. Just going to sit. Pro tip, if you're an artist, if you're feeling not rushed, but just kind of like your brain is full. I like to call it like static noise, just kind of like this constant hum. Just put down the pen. Just sit for a second. Just breathe. There's no timeline. You're fine. Relax. I usually can reset in like, gosh, a minute or two. And you guys are very entertaining, so I can just read the chat for a bit. Also, this is a question for my students, but really for all of y'all. So I have right now in the chat, I have step uno. This is where we started, right? I think I'm going to start putting progress screenshots in the chat a lot more often. That way people that missed the stream can kind of put together what happened. And then students can see what I consider like progress points of like moving on, or just like a summary of what's going on. Smile. Yeah, Paint says water check. That's a good point. I'm like out of water. Step dos. Bam. Just think that'd be a fun one. Taylor says, Mia, so basically functionality first, then later employing creative. Oh my God, we're gonna restart. Taylor says, all right, Mia, so pretty much you're saying functionality first, then later employing creative/aesthetic ideas and make the sculpt unique. You got it. Flavor comes second. When you're baking a cake, you gotta get your ingredients first. Flour, eggs, water, stir. The way I said that reminded me, what is it? How do I not know the Avatar intro by heart at this point? Probably just freezing up because I'm on stream. I don't want to start saying the elements because I get it in the wrong order. Anyway, it felt like the intro to Avatar. Oh, Sater says, question of the day. What type of group do you enjoy the most for TTRPGs, so tabletop role-playing games? A, mostly silly with some serious combat, One Piece. I like the examples. B, balance between the silly and serious dramatic, Naruto. Or C, everything serious, Attack on Titan. I am for sure an Attack on Titan girl through and through. That consumed my entire life. I have all the manga behind me, except for the very last box set. I'm waiting for the official box set to come out. But I have all of them but the last like 6 books. Anyway, I love Attack on Titan. Big fan. Love serious. If I'm not suffering in my hobbies and relaxed time, am I really having fun? Yeah. Pat says, some Spanish words today. Ah, yes. Yo hablo español muy mal. Micah says, different kind of balance, not mechanical. Wendelier, fire, and fire. Long ago, the Fire Nation lived in harmony. Then everything changed when the Avatar attacked. I haven't heard that before. That's super funny. Ray says, it's interesting because your workflow is idea, bash, refine bash, clean final. Whereas I'm used to 2D concept, 3D block out, high, then low. Oh yeah, that's true because, well, I mean, technically when you're it's really low, high, then low for you because like you design low poly, like to create your concept, then detail, and then have to retopologize. Pat says, mejor que yo. What you? Main what you? Oh God, you've maxed out my very, very limited Spanish. Better than I. Apparently not. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yo is I. Two would be two, or usted is you. Hey, Monkey's here. Hi, welcome in. Better than me. Yeah. Hey, I don't mind. I got no problem embarrassing myself. That's part of getting better. So this is our new normal, apparently. We have like 20 people here. That's insane. I love it. I love it. Sater says, just something I've been thinking about lately. I have fun with the group I have now, but they're a bit more silly than I prefer. Yeah, I have never had a D&D group that's remotely as serious as I would want it to be. Granted, I'm a little extreme, but I mean, like, we couldn't do anything without them trying to start a crime ring. And I'm like, can we get to the main plot? Paint says, Mia, can we have a redeem that is just a water check? Oh, that's so sweet. That's really sweet. I do like that. Yes, I'm gonna make sure I add that. And it'll pop up on stream. Everyone's gonna see it. I think that's awesome. Let's see if I can do it on the fly. All right, it'll be peasants, refill your mug, hydrate. And it will cost 5 points. I have to include an image. That's stupid. Okay, let me just do a screenshot of the mugs. No, like, screenshot shows up on stream, so I don't know why it wants an image. That's okay. I can play by the rules. I can do what it tells me to. I gotta complain about it first. I feel like that was deeply relatable without meaning it to be. Alrighty. It'll be exclamation point, redeem, hydrate. That should be live now. We'll see if it works. Sater says, I've yet to meet a Tabaxi player that is normal. You know, I can be your one outlier for that. Like when I played Skyrim, that's what I always played as Khajiit, which is Tabaxi. Pretty normal. Oh yeah, reading your description of your players, they sound very sweet, but a chinchilla folk bard, it looks like a clown. We got like 3 red flags right there. Some of them were like fun red flag, but like, yeah. How much does it cost? You guys are gonna find out, I guess. I think it's 5. Yes, it is. I think it should show up on my stream. I can't remember. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. All right, I'm gonna go get water. Yeah, I'm out of water. Go refill. Oh, can I stand? Oh, I'm so creaky. Oh my goodness. Okay. Go refill your mugs, peasants. All right, I'm back. Did Maverick show himself? He did, just a little bit. He's so crabby when I move and wake him up. It's outrageous. Where does that attitude come from? Who taught you that? Hmm? He's doing the slowest little blinks. Maverick stream, let's go. Oh my gosh, that was really gross. Did you guys hear him burp? All right, no, we're not doing this. Nope, go to bed. Go to bed. Lovingly. You need to be tucked in again now? You messed up your whole blankie. It is becoming the Maverick stream, isn't it? Hello. Hello. I know. I don't know if you can chew on your bone. I don't really care. There. Now you're half in, half out. You got options. Here's your fish. Okay. I took a really long break from this. Let's get back to it. Ray, don't they say pets mimic their owners' behaviors? Careful. Give him a pet. Yes, he got his pet. Mini Blaze. Bamber's like, where's she going? I'm too comfortable to follow her. It's pretty accurate. All right. Let's add a little bit more detail to this belt because that's a really easy thing that will help me get back in the flow. Extrude poly loop. 1, 2. Oh, look. A secondary form. Amazing. All right, we need to add the details or the objects on her arms. Pat says, cute little doggy. Thanks, he's my little goblin. Taylor says, Mia, can there be a pet Mav redeem? Yes, we can do that too. Also, did it ever pop up on screen, the hydrate? I'm gonna do that because I'm trying to figure out how this all works. It's like sometimes it like wants to trigger and pop up, and a lot of times it doesn't. So I'm just figuring out what works and what doesn't. Okay, it said it worked, but I don't see it on stream. I think it only shows up when I also have a sound effect with it. Just, I'm learning. Ooh, if I change it to a sound effect, maybe that works. Thank you guys for letting me troubleshoot this. And yeah, I saw you redeemed it too. Perfect. Oh yes, I know you did. I just didn't see it. So it's supposed to pop up on stream as well, like this big old pop-up thing. And I don't think it did. I'll deal with that later. I'm making small progress on these things. All right, moving right along. We need to create these bracers that kind of remind me of some of the armor I made for my dragon folk or my dragon turtle warrior. Also similar to what I used for the Raytheon. Raytheon, dragon. Dude, I have no idea where I put that piece. It's a really odd piece. I'm like, I'm not going to need this again, so I didn't save it. And I'm like, where is it? I've done this work before, and I don't think my skills have improved to the point where I will improve by doing it again. So that's why I'm looking for it. You know, funny enough, this is the piece I used on the stream that I met Aloha on, which crazy that that's coming full circle. Pat says, I'm not sure what's going on with that hydrate thing. Essentially, it's like reminding y'all to like refill your water, refill your mugs, that kind of thing. I like it. You know, no, I have gotten better. All right, let's make it from scratch. We're gonna make one segment and then I'm going to layer it in a way That's gonna work for her arms and it's gonna work for her legs. It's gonna be a 2-in-1. Reaper, I will refill my mug with more soda. Very good. What's your favorite soda? That's kind of a question for everyone. I always like to give Dr. Pepper drinkers a hard time for no real reason. All right, I need this to be a bit of a shorter segment here, so I'm going to go to delete polyloop. Doot. And I'm going to turn on double, kind of spin it around. I'm just making sure there's no funny polygroups on the inside. Not polygroups, but like polys facing the wrong way. Every shape you see here, like this rectangle, this one, they're all polygons. All right, now that I have this segment, let's go ahead and close hole so I don't have to worry about any 3D printing nonsense. And then I'm going to extrude this poly loop and start shaping this. It kind of has a top and a bottom though. How do I want to do this? Thinking. This is not how I want to do this. Nope. It needs to have a top and a bottom. So we're actually going to make this into 2 separate pieces. We're going to do just the top segment right now. Mia uses pivot. It's super effective. Yeah, that's how we're going to do this. And underneath it is actually going to be more like a sleeve. Yeah. Yep. This is the way. Proper construction is huge. Your mesh is going to behave the way you want it to. It's going to be easier to detail and work with. And if you keep it in an asset library like I do, it's going to be easier to iterate and create more versions of it. So in this case, I'm going to have kind of a base. And then like top sections of armor. Yeah, cool. To add thickness to this, I'm going to go to dynamic, smooth, add some thickness just like that. Apply. Now that I have this piece here, I can really start to play around with it. It's pretty much going to look like what I imagine like dragon scales almost. There we go. Cool. We're going to put a bevel on it so it looks a little more organic. Hover over an edge, click bevel, polyloop, and then click and drag. You know what? Edge loop should also work for this. It didn't really do what I wanted it to, but it did not do what I wanted it to, so we're fine. Sweet. And then now we're actually going to extrude a loop, which I know is a little confusing, but you end up with a nicer effect. Extrude polyloop, just like that. I want to have a really clear edge on here for when I layer it up. Aloha said, what happened to the corner you used to be in? Oh, like where I stream? I used to stream in the closet. I used to be in there. I am not joking. Listen, we were just trying things out and we didn't have like space and we weren't customizing the room to fit the fact that I live stream. So yeah, I was in the closet. Yeah. Yeah. Kev says not soda, but coffee is always my go-to. I agree. Yesterday was a 2 coffee day. Today we just did 1, a little more tame. All right, I'm gonna scoot this down, I think. No, I need to figure out how I can get this all to fit. All right, we're gonna just duplicate it a bunch of times from the top view. And then I'll use move topological to make it behave. That's the current plan. How many segments? 3? I can do 4. It's gonna look more aesthetic. And then we actually need another segment on the end here to kind of flip. So this last one really needs to be kind of mirrored. Let's see if I can get that to happen nicely. Close, but no cigar. Let's rotate you. There we go. Kind of happening. Nope. I want this to be symmetrical. So I'm going to put it unified in the middle of my scene and then mirror and weld. There we go. That's all I wanted. I don't like the little bulge though, so I'm going to just lower it until it goes away. It will not go away. That's fine. We're just going to smooth it. Bam. Kind of chaotic, but I did it. Doesn't look symmetrical because I have, whatchamacallit, perspective turned on. If I go orthographic view, which means there's no distortion from focal length, then it looks normal again. Sweet. Now that I have this piece, I can put it back on her arm. It's a little big right now, I think. Yeah, this is way better than the asset I tried to find. That's probably why I didn't save it. I was like, I'm not going to save this because I know I can do a better job. As I like to say, I'm going to make that a later Mia problem. And sure enough, it is actually beneficial. Yeah, you can only save stuff into your asset library if you know you did a good job. Don't save problems. It sounds obvious, but helping someone out there. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. It needs one more segment though for this to read correctly. Once I put barnacles and stuff on it, it's gonna read very like sailor and stuff, but it's actually gonna work really, really well for some paladin armor or dragon armor. Shapes are cool. Miniblade has returned. Welcome back. I love to see all y'all chatting so much and with each other. It's amazing. If you need me, type in M3DM. Otherwise, I will not see you. So right now I'm using Move Topological to make sure that these are layered nicely. I'm spending a lot more time on this than anything else I've done because I'm probably going to reuse this asset later, so it's really going to benefit me from just taking my time, making it look nice. It's in the early stages still, but it's happening. Cool. And then I think I can also reuse this to work for her legs. I'm not going to grab like the sock part that fits her arm. I'm going to recreate that from scratch for her legs. Otherwise, it's not going to flow super nice. Alrighty. They're coming out a little crooked and weird. So what I'm going to do is turn off symmetry, focus on just one, and then a mirror and weld to clean this up because it's looking really lumpy. My lines are not looking very clean, so we'll force the issue. My favorite thing to do. Before or after. There we go. And then maybe even a mirror and weld on the y-axis. Just want to look, there we go, like really intentional and thought out. Miniblade says, Mia, is there a reason you seem to always go with ridges on the armor? Well, yeah, it's not flat. And you want an edge to paint and to dry brush and to highlight. There's always going to be an edge that's been milled or hammered. Yeah, I like the gauntlets too, thank you. All right, Monkey pinged me, and I'm gonna show how much I don't know acronyms. What is LFG? Looking for group? Ooh, I think I figured it out. All this talk about D&D, let's try to get a thing going sometime. I honestly would love to DM something. Can we get Mia to maybe make a looking for group channel or something of that sort on Discord? Yeah, of course. Of course. Let's just do it now. I'm going to put it in general, I guess, because we don't have like a clear 3D printing group. And then I'm not going to do LFG because I didn't even know what that meant, even though it's probably pretty normal. Looking for group. All right. That is now a thing. It's right under general. And then if you guys can't see it because Discord be dumb, scroll up to the top here where it says channel and roles. Click on that and then browse channels. Make sure all of this stuff is enabled. At the far right here, there's little checky boxes. So yes. Foxy first. Amazing. And then even though Monkey, you can find it, I'm tagging you anyway. Bam, that's now a thing. Go crazy. Hydrating did eat some of your point, and you were being a good test goat, so. Bam, you've been redeemed. You immediately try to duel Aloha. I love that. Ask and you shall receive. Oh, and alternatively with that browse channel things I showed you guys, you can also hide channels you have no interest in, you know? I think like Foxy mentioned, they don't have welcomes and introductions on because like they don't feel the need to wave to every new people in the server, which is totally fair. So yeah, customize that to your experience. All right, same thing goes with this. We're gonna do a little masky mask on a lower subdiv. And our ankles are so tiny. Let's fix that. There we go. Nice. God, the charisma on this character is outrageous. This looks so cool. Why is Ray sad? Ah, Ray, you were pointless. I've lost every single duel. I even gave you a pity point. Like 5 losses in a row. Hey, if it makes you feel better, I've never won either. And I own this. Yes, do an emoji poll. All right, I'm skimming through the chat. Were you guys able to duel Aloha yet? I'm having a crisis over this. Odd. Ray says, Mia, I think in solidarity with me for us losing so many duels, you should just give us both a solid 20. I'll tell you what. I'll let you roll for it. I'll give you advantage since you were somewhat convincing. And if either of these are above an 11, above a 12, I'll give us both 20. We tied at 12. I didn't plan for what happens to ties, y'all. I'll let chat decide then. I didn't expect that you would tie even with advantage. Who wins the tie? DM or player? because I'm kind of like DM in this case. Lois says, me, if I roll exactly 17, can get 100 points. Sure. No advantage, though. You guys ready for this? Nope. Sater says, in 5e, you have to meet or exceed. Okay, well, they met. Ties always go in favor of the player. That makes sense. All right, Ray. You barely got it. Just Lingual says house always wins. Spicy. Way to be a good sport. All right, we're gonna start adding in some of these construct details. Oh, that's right. Blue Jester has their own system. I like it. So we got 2 potential DMs right here. We're gonna have to jump on that. A lot of y'all are already hanging out in the Peasant Social Hub anyway. Not saying you have to host it in my Discord, but I know you guys have time. All right, so when adding construct lines, I pretty much just go with what I think looks right, and I kind of change it up a little bit each time. A mesh with subdivision history may be partially modified only with the lowest active. You know how to add subdiv. Why are you being silly? There we go. I don't know why it made me go to the lowest one first. It's never done that before. I guess today was just new rules. All right, I'm gonna go in with Lazy Mouse and Damn Standard. I've used Chisel before, but I think it disrupts the mesh a little bit too much. So the first thing we're gonna do is add those really iconic lines by her chin. All right, one shot or longer campaign? I'm kind of shy, so I think in the beginning I'd be down for just a one shot. And then depending if, like, I don't know, how much fun I have. Not like it's a tryout for you or anything. Like, sometimes I'm feeling more social, sometimes I'm not. So I think a one shot for now would be good. But I'm open. I wouldn't not do it just because you're gonna start a new campaign, if that makes sense. I think it'd be cool if she had like a faceplate that connected right here on the lower side of her jaw too. I just think those lines read really well. And then of course she will have some really cool textures going on as far as wood because she was the figurehead of a ship. Where in the world did this happen? Where did this come from? What is that? I can fix it, but that was odd. All right, we have a lot of interest in a one shot and in a full campaign. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So I'm not gonna be adding a ton here just because when you pose, it's gonna like tear a lot of this. It's just kind of the beginning here. Yeah, no, Aloha is like, I cannot get it to work. Aloha, when I put at Aloha, does it light up or anything for you? Peyton says, need to go, but lots of love. Have a great day. Of course, thanks for being here. And then she would not have a belly button. I just don't think she would. She's a construct. Not going crazy ham with it right now. Just the beginning. Let's get some detail on her feet. I'm gonna inflate it first just so it's a little more substantial. And then for the feet, I like to really exaggerate like where the bones would actually be. I find that works really well for constructs. And then of course, that's a real joint. Gotta keep it it's almost like this rounded egg shape. And then underneath the heel. It doesn't always end up being shown on depending how the pose is, but if I wanted to really clean this up and make it look more elaborate, I could always, sorry, I'm like so focused and trying to explain. Anyway, I could always actually add individual meshes for each of these sections. But for now, since we're pre-posing especially, I'm kind of just like in that sketching phase. I've done enough constructs where I kind of know what lines work and which ones don't. And I find they're most successful when you play along lines where the bones are actually existing. There we go, more like that. All right, so it's begun. Foxy says, Mia, can constructs not have belly buttons? I mean, they totally can. I just think it'd be funny to like add because they were not birthed. Just Lingual said, we asked the best way to start a campaign, so what's the worst way to start a campaign? Wrong answers only. That's gonna be a fun one. Okay, Monkey said, yeah, also Mia, when I was looking at the roles channel, I didn't see the checkbox on the side like your screen. I just see the printer brands and hobbies. What? Here in rules and roles? You don't see the ones at the bottom? I'm gonna go insane. Discord is so cool and so powerful, but like, I just wanted to show you guys all of the things all of the time. But yeah, you should be able to manually assign your roles here under rules and roles. Ray says, Mia, you're gonna incorporate the driftwood texture with the construct lines. Yes, yes I am. Oh, Monkey said, oh wait. Oh, you found it. Read the next message. Lol. Gotcha. Thank you. Empress says, now that I think about Mia, do you model anything or do you sculpt everything? I literally have done some modeling today. Making these. That was all done with the ZModeler brush. The Monkey says, I am blind Monkey. Me too. I missed like half your messages. Oh my gosh, are we gonna be like for real friends? This is very exciting. Oh heck yeah, Foxy just shared the print. Speaking of Empress, I pretty much modeled this entire character. There was like no sculpting. So the first print fell off the shelf and broke. No legs, no head, but damn, look at that body. She looks good. Haha, she is real. Nice, nice. That was a really fun character. Thank you for sharing, Prince. Oh, look at you guys go. Oh my goodness. All I see is Reaper going, eee. What is happening here? Okay, okay. You guys are so distracting. Nope, nope. Back to where I'm supposed to be. Empress says, it looks so different from modeling in Blender. Wowzers. So, versus modeling in Blender, it would look more like... Dude, I can show you. Because I know what you're used to seeing. I'm going to do like a really quick example. You're used to having like a square. And then in this case, you go to ZBrush, hold on an edge, and extrude move. This is what your world looks like, which I can also do. I am all powerful. No, just ZBrush is cool. And the way like it can like tap to click to different lines here, it's pretty cool. Bam. So yeah, I used this kind of modeling technique when I made the War Machine, which I don't show on stream anymore because I threw it on the floor and broke it into a million pieces, and I'm super upset about it. I don't want to talk about it. All right, extrude move poly loop. That's also an option. So it can just extend this whole edge. Don't mind the topology is abysmal, so that's why it's not. Let me just fix it. Now extrude move poly loop. Let's do an edge first. Why are you not working now? Whatever, demo over. I undid to a certain point and now I can't figure out how to redid. And it's not redo, it is redid. Thank you. Taka said, for real friends is one of the cutest things I've heard today. Yeah, sometimes I'm really good at like live editing. Every now and then one of those like real wholesome deep thoughts kind of slips on out, but yeah. Ray says, oh my gosh, I love ZBrush. I just couldn't remember the name. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, Aloha said, my recent Tory gate was made almost entirely with the ZBrush. Cool as heck. Very good. Well, this is looking really freaking cool. Let's, what's next? I'm pretty much at the end of Tavern Keeper's Craft. We're at 2 hours. You know, I'm tired. I'm having fun, but I don't want to work on this right now. I made progress. I'm happy where it's at. I'm going to let it just be happy where it's at. How about that? So in that case, we're going to make a little progress stamp. I'm going to keep all these little assets that we have off to the side because I just think it's cool that we're building this up slowly but surely. And let's do some fun lighting stuff. God, whenever I model characters for Micah, I'm like, oh, cool, construct. And they always kind of turn out looking like a babe. I don't know why. They always come out looking a little pin-uppy. It just, I don't know. It's not the worst problem. It's just an observation. All right, adding a warmer light and then seeing where that's gonna sit best. That's pretty nice. That's pretty cool. What do you guys think? I'm really happy with this character today. Micah says, Mia, definitely a lot of great progress so far, right? She's gonna be stunning. She might be the best one yet. And there's so many elements I haven't even incorporated yet. And yeah, thank you, Micah, for supporting my art for years. Years, plural. That's insane. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're an absolute delight. Not only do you help me make this a real full-time job for me and my husband, but also like you share your creativity and these incredible characters. It's genuinely such a pleasure. Seriously. I'm gonna save this character before I forget. Gosh, I need to get through my downloads folder. This is a small disaster. Okay. I'll call this a pirate construct and we'll know what it is. Anyone know the way to make the time thingy in a comment? I don't, but I go to this website. Bunny actually sent this to me. Yeah, I use this website. Ray said, Mia, when she's done, it'd be really cool to render her underwater. That would be cool. I would love that. We have 20 people watching the stream, and 20 people have liked it. Thank you. Let's see how many people voted in the stream. It's kind of fun to see who like comes in, dips, and votes. 27. Oh, important life update. I have a streamer I like to watch, and she's cool. She's not like intimidating. She's super friendly, but I've never ever commented, like talked in the chat before, and I did yesterday. But I was still in my business account as M3DM. So she read my name as she's like, M3DM. She's like, Madame? So she called me Madame. I thought it was the coolest thing. I don't know. It was riveting. Long story short, I talked in a live stream where I was not the content. I finally did not lurk in a live stream. And I totally get it. It's really fun. I understand the hype. I do. But yes, exciting life update. I'm not like chronically shy necessarily. I just don't interact. I have no problem being on camera. I have no problem talking. At some point, I'm gonna go to like conventions, and I'm certain I'm gonna meet some of you guys in person eventually. And I'm gonna be just like I am now. Like I have no problem with that. It just takes a lot of energy. Is the best way I can put it. Pet says, well, you can call me Pet. I think if I called you Pet in real life, that would make me blush. On stream, it's fine. But in real life, I demand a real name. Taylor says, Mia is finally one of us. It's happening. One of us. Hey, Sofar's here. Welcome back. Ooh, this looks cool. Thank you. This is a fun one. Let's see what fun renders I can put on here. I always use the same two over and over again. But did you guys know that I can do like any of these? I just don't. See? It's kind of cool. It's kind of hard to read. I've been depriving you guys of fun renders. I really have. I'm gonna click on a few of these because I don't do enough fun things with y'all sometimes. Here, I'll make this really skinny so you guys can see. You can see why I pick the renders that I do. A lot of these are not even remotely practical, but they're kind of fun. Maybe we can pick a new favorite together. I kind of like that. Pat says, it'd probably be harder for you to pronounce my real name. I can say Petrovic. Is that? That's not a real name. I think I could say it. I used to live in a very, very diverse area. Not in Eastern Tennessee. Everybody just be white out here. Just like white. But like in California where I grew up, it was pretty diverse. So I can pronounce a decent amount of names. Not a whole lot of Polish or like Norwegian, but like a lot of Indian, a lot of like more Arabic, a lot of obviously a lot of Spanish and Portuguese. Monkey says, Mia, hey, can you pin the link in looking for a game channel on Discord? That'd be a huge help for everyone in the future. Yes, what link? Is there a link? The whole thing? I don't think I can pin a channel. Oh my god. Aloha said, Mia, I'm so glad you stopped lurking. I knew I spotted you in the chat of the Tennessee Height Extension Surgery channel. No. Can you pin that link in looking for a game channel on Discord? That'd be a huge help for everyone in the future. I am blind. What link? Oh, this link? This one? No, that's just a stamp. Tell me what you want. The time thingy. The link you sent. Oh. Yeah. I understand. The 20-second delay makes this more painful than it is. I am so sorry. This one? And then pin? So I played a lot of Fire Emblem Three Houses, like a lot. I love that game. And one of the merchants that you buy from, every single time you buy an item, she goes, "Is this the one? Is this the one?" Every time. So whenever I say that, that's what I'm doing in my head. And I drive my husband crazy with it too. Like, if I'm showing her something, I don't know, it's like an inside joke. I'm just like, "Is this the one?" If you've played Fire Emblem Three Houses, you know what I'm talking about. I knew we'd get there sooner or later. Hey. Sater says, people are always surprised to say Denver is crazy diverse, but it is. That makes sense to me. It's a huge city. I feel that culture shock from Denver to Florida was real. Are you a Florida man? Oh my God, that explains so much. Jokes. Amazing. Cool. I will be active in that, I promise. All right, we are at the end of Tavern Keeper's Craft. We have this lovely lady. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot her. All right, smile. Slater said, I was about to say. Yeah, no, joke. Oh, shoot. I deleted my own screenshot as soon as I took it. I have to do it again, probably. Did it stay anywhere? Okay, I need to clean up my downloads folder. This is driving me crazy. Don't boop at me. You're not open. There we go. Oh, there it is. It worked. Oh, that's a really good reference. Thank you, Sater. Yes. You guys are going to find out the limit in my Spanish real quick. Oh, and then there's all the screenshots for the references, which I have those safely stored up here. Oh, I haven't added her shark mantle yet. It's all coming. Reaper says, oh, I agree with this. Reaper says, me thinks you need some mod underlings to interpret the peasants and do the grunt work. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I've been definitely thinking about that. It's becoming a lot in like the best way, but like, yeah. I'm thinking about it. I am. Sater says, ooh, Aloha, we're getting some Sater lore drop. Sater says, born and raised in a suburb of Denver, moved to Florida for 2 years when I left home after high school, and then moved to PA, which is Pennsylvania, I believe. No kidding. Okay. And Pet says, if the singer of Ramstein can count 1, 2, 3 in Spanish, you absolutely can. Oh yes. Uno, dos, tres. Aloha is definitely up there to mod. I mean, he can't be if my bot won't recognize him. Then he can't. Oh my God. We're going to fix that. So far says, it's very weird seeing my Discord and the stream one going at different times. Yeah. It's just the way it be. One day, soon, when I hit it like super big, I'm going to have a separate little like Mac computer that just hosts my streaming. So I don't have to bog down my computer with that, which means I can have the latency reduced to like nothing. But as of now, y'all are gonna have to deal with the 20-second delay. Did stream block him? No. So Aloha's name is Aloha_XX, and whenever I type in @Aloha and click on it, I can see that it does like this weird little space. Sater says, I've been calling Aloha she the whole time. I know, I did it. I think I started it first. I don't know if it was me or Mini Blaze, but like I heard it somewhere and it stuck. And I don't do that usually. I usually always say they. And then I was like, oh, I never knew that. I just went with it. And then all of you guys started saying it because I said it. It was me. It was my fault. Aloha says, I'm gonna have to fight Streamlabs in the tabard. Yeah. Aloha's like, it's really fine, guys. I know. And like, I didn't even do it because you mentioned like, oh, like your avatar is like kind of like flowery and stuff. I didn't even think that. I don't know where it came from. I never do that. It just blame you. It's funny. Actually, this makes sense. Aloha transcends gender because Aloha has ascended out of the chat even. They are a deity. Oh my god, you guys are sweet. No, you guys don't have to apologize. Don't make it weird. Don't have to apologize. It's fine. Oh my god. It's okay. Now that Ricky makes TikTok videos, people on TikTok, as far as they're concerned, M3DM is a man. So I'm getting called he everywhere now. And then they see me on stream and they're like, what the fuck? So it's fine. It's fine. All right. Tavern Keeper's Craft is over. I'm going to go make some lunch. I'm going to take a long break. I'm going to just be gone for a bit. Guys, I promise it's fine. It was sweet. Yeah, no, it was funny. It just adds to the lore. Anyway, I'm going to go make some ramen with an egg. It's my favorite thing pretty much ever. And then we're going to do a double happy hour. There was no D20 Rolls of Destiny today because I just didn't want chaos. I love chaos. I don't know. We're just doing a little breaky break from that. It worked out. Anybody says me? I think it was me. Maybe. So far says, I would love a stream series where you make characters for each of the regulars. Listen, I'm going to get super famous and super rich. I don't really need that. It's going to work out. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. What is Ricky's TikTok? I call it Tic-Tac. It's just M3DM on TikTok, I think. Guys, I don't do the thing. Actually, there's a bunch of videos I did on there a while ago, though. M3DM_art. We're going to upload to YouTube soon, too, so you guys won't have to... You'll be able to find it. But he has a bunch of really cool stuff on there. He does a lot more, like, cost analysis and general tips and trips. Tips and trips. Tips and tricks. There we go. There's also some Maverick highlights. Maverick's video flopped. It's so funny. Every other video did pretty well, and then the one with Maverick, nobody watched it. Poor baby. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff on here. We went mini famous. Look at this, 30,000 views. Anyway, go look at that. Stonk. Business. I need to eat. I will see you guys in like 20 minutes. Goodbye. Hey y'all, I'm back. A whole minute early. I saw non-sleeper came in. Hello, hello. Love that y'all are dueling. Very good. I have not finished my food. I'm a very slow eater. But you guys never seen my little very hungry mug. But yeah, I eat this almost every day. Eggs are really expensive, so I decided to do Spam instead. But yes, I'm eating ramen and Spam. It's a good time. So, today is double happy hour, which means I'm going to review my students' work as they feel free to submit. And we're going to just hang out. Have a good time. Main work is done. Yeah, I am back. Cute bowl. Thank you. I like it. Pushing for the win. I know it's backwards, but it's like got the teal inside too. Also, who doesn't like Spam is so underrated. I love Spam. Welcome back. Spam, 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 right? For casual interest, what is the biggest you've printed one of your models? I have to go stand up. Many of you guys have seen this. I actually have it. Alright. Over here. Bam. This big. Normally minis are this big. This big. Isn't it cool? Yeah. And this was printed on a Bamboo Labs X1 carbon. Not sponsored, but I totally would be. I love them. I mean, kind of sponsored. I didn't pay for it. Ray says, I don't think I've ever had Spam. The eggs are fantastic. Not too crazy over here. I have never once ate Spam. You guys are missing out. Just, like, make sure you fry it up. Like, don't... Like, when you take it out of the can, it looks disgusting. But, like, it's not. Human head size. Yes. That is accurate. Is that how big my head is? It looks too big. Am I going to have a humble moment? Oh, yep. That's... Wow. That is exactly the size of my head. For some reason, that feels hurtful. Okay. What's the Spam? It's like mystery meat. I don't know what it is. But it looks like this when it's chopped up. It comes out of a can. And yeah, don't eat Spam cold. Yeah, please, God. If you guys are going to eat it, chop it up, fry it up. It's really good. When I do my ramen, I do soy sauce and brown sugar with red pepper flake and some onion or garlic powder. I do actual garlic, I'm not feeling lazy, which is never. And it makes this really yummy sauce. It's just so good. Oh, and a tablespoon of butter. More like half a tablespoon. Anyway. All right, I know I had some stuff to review from Aloha. And it's like RB Minis has an update. Very good. That's cat food. You're not wrong. Look, I didn't say it looked good. I said it tasted good and it's cheap. Accurate. Sater says, think hot dogs. Instead of a sausage form, it's in a block. If that's not appetizing, I don't know what is. If you're just tuning in here, hello, my name is Mia. This is Happy Hour. You missed the Tavern Keeper's Craft, but you're in luck. I do this every single day. During Happy Hour, I focus on my students. Again, I do 3D printable minis for a living. So I do a lot of work in 3D, lots of printing, all kinds of sizes, mostly 28 millimeter, but you can scale it up to look like whatever you want. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I got a handful of students now. So let's talk about their work. All right, Aloha submitted this. A lot of fun character here. I like how thick the eyebrows are. All right. On a scale from 1 to 3, what level of critique do you want Aloha? 1 is super intense, 2 is balance, and 3 is like a gentle nudge. Yeah, similar but different to bologna. I always thought Spam was the American tuna. It is not fish. I don't know what it is. I think it's pork. Thank you, Mini Blaze. If you're interested in becoming a student, the link's in the chat. It is $1 a day, 30 bucks a month. That seems suspiciously cheap. It is. My mentorship's really cheap because I have students at all different levels in all different lifestyles and like busyness. So it's kind of like one person might get like a full like $100 worth that month of teaching, but someone else might not be able to get to anything. So it all balances out. I like to keep my stuff on the lower side so it's accessible. Because learning 3D is expensive. I want to provide the thing that I wish I had when I was learning. Is Aloha here? Oh, yes. You think one is good? Oh, that surprises me. I didn't expect that, honestly. Pat says, great teacher, I must say. Thank you, thank you. All right, where is your before? All right, right here, we're kind of exploring forms. It was pretty early on, and then you really intensified quite a few of them. Very good. All right, things I'm really glad that you did is you added a small bit of border around this heart. That's going to make it more 3D printable and more readable. I also like the braids you added and the different colors of highlights. Very, very nice. As far as design goes and critique, man, her eyes have a lot more soul to them. You did a good job painting those. The biggest downside here, what's taking away from it, is the symmetry of the way that the eyes and the eyebrows and the horns are stacked on top of each other. Obviously, eyebrows are above eyes, but the way you have this stacked, it's kind of like they're all fighting for your attention at once. I would move the horns either higher up, more to the side, maybe woven into her hair. I do like that you have this bevel at the bottom here where the flash is kind of like showing how the horns sit in. That being said, I think they need to be larger or smaller. You can read them from the silhouette, which is good. But that's the biggest weakness here is the way these stack. Oh, and then a warning. If anyone in chat provides critique, I will ban you. Do not critique my students. You critique me if you're going to be picky, but my students, this is a safe space. You can inspire. You can say, hey, I love your character. If you want to make it even better, maybe look at this artist or maybe look at these pieces of work. But don't nitpick my students. I'll come for you. That being said as well, I think you can also improve the silhouette on the shoulders here and just go bigger. She's so like ethereal and fun. The hair, I can't believe that you made this hair. Man, you've come so far. I'm immensely proud of you. I like the thick eyebrows. Keep the thick eyebrows. Those are really cool. And the skin texturing. Is that a noise modifier layered on there? Good job. With the fabric folds, I can't tell what type of material this is. Again, this is a one-level critique. I'm not normally like this. I can't tell what type of material the fabric is here, whether it's leather or whether it is cloth. I want to say cloth because of the way it is, but it's unclear. The way you can define that is by showing it in fabric folds. Remember, if you have a thicker material, you'll have fewer and larger fabric folds. The thinner it is, the more gauzy-like. Think of like Grecian statues. You'll get lots of tiny little thin fabric folds. But at the end of the day, you're still an artist, so even if it's accurate, you have to find a balance between accuracy and what's aesthetic to look at. With the hair, you're pushing an edge here by having so much detail blanketed on the whole thing. I kind of make the scalps kind of like smooth to give like a place for the eye to rest. But of all places, with hair, you can kind of mess around with that. I love the crown. I think that's beautiful. I think the petals might look more interesting if you were to add a little bit more variation to them. Like some of the petals being slightly larger than others. It just makes it look more organic. I like the nose ring and I like the jewelry on her horns. I just adore. I would find somewhere else to add these gold ornamentations somewhere on her shirt. Like a button or like a brooch, something like that. Well, yes, this is all on live stream, so you can feel free to review if needed. That was a ton of feedback. That is a level 1. I'm being pretty nitpicky on a lot of this. The vibes are fantastic. I'm so impressed with how much more character that has versus this. This is still great, but you really took everything here and just more. It's just wonderful. Oh, one last thing. Your colors are, you're kind of pushing it with how saturated they are. When you get too saturated, it's kind of like working with pure whites and pure blacks. It makes everything else look a little more muddled. So play around with your saturation and value and kind of find like a healthy medium. Like the greens and the reds here, because those are opposite on the color wheel, they're kind of they can be tricky. They do complement. Like I did green and red for this guy even, right? Just be careful with them. They can come across as Christmassy or a little clashy. Not enough gradients. I love me some gradients. That's subjective. Great work. Oh, that's nice. The The eyes, you painted the eyes better than I paint my eyes. I call it as I see it. That's fantastic. Good job. Good job. Also, how did you do that? Good job. I'm very proud of you. If I need to summarize, let me know. Aloha says, thank you. Many notes taken. You're welcome. Moving right along. All right. Oh my goodness. We have so much progress. Is RB here? Tell me when you're here and we'll look at this. Mia needs to eat her Spam. I don't normally eat on stream. If you're new, this is a new thing. I just eat really slow. I did not give myself enough time for break. I don't think y'all mind. If you guys can hear me eat on stream, please, dear God, tell me. I'll mute my mic. Fun fact, I have like pretty severe misophonia. I've been working on it. There's not really anything you can do about it, but like hearing people eat or like certain noises out of context, it is like full fight or flight response. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. Anyone else that has it? I feel for you. RB wants a 2. Let's do it. All right. Let's do a little context here. RB is making this character. Step 1, I had him make I said him. See, I don't know. I had them make a blockout. Pretty good. Did a little bit of review. We have some more roundness and volume to the forms. Great. Musculature is just beginning. More refining. And then here was like the big update. This is where I mentioned like the biggest drawbacks was pretty much this whole area right here. The traps didn't make a lot of sense and where they connected the collarbone. Same with the pectoral muscles need some work, and we needed more belly. So you made a lot of great work on that. There was also a dancing cow that visited. And then this looks incredible. We have more belly, there's more forms, this looks much more readable and more confident. And a lot of work on the head. This was yesterday's update. We got some assets in here, and I mostly focus on form and like shape hierarchy. I mentioned like the assets are lacking that structure of like main silhouette, secondary details, and then tertiary details being like, think like facial pores, fabric folds. I mean, they're big fabric folds. That could be a secondary form, but. And now we have today's big update. Hey, Mia. So this is where I'm with the model. Those cloth kind of thingies on the shoulder, armor and forearm are just a base. Need to find them. And I haven't made the nails separate yet. Sounds good? All right. And you wanted to. All right. This has been bulked up more. That edge. Okay, check this out. Do you see how much better this looks with that edge on there and the ring on the back versus like yesterday? How that doesn't read nearly as well. That's because you now have like that hierarchy of forms. You have that secondary form, which is really just complementing the base. It all comes back to your secondary and tertiary. Think of like a pyramid. It all needs to enhance your main basic shape, which is what you're doing. We got a belt buckle on here. I think it's an odd choice for the belt buckle. It looks like a soda pull tab. It could work if refined. The armor blockout looks great. I see you're still refining some. Dig in more with your fabric folds. Go nuts. Let me look at your reference again, because this is an interesting point. So on your reference, the armor is actually pretty like smashed down to the character, which I think is fine because it's a 2D artwork and the silhouette is stationary, right? It's not a 3D model. But in your case, I think that even though this is accurate, you nailed it. I would recommend taking this shoulder piece and actually making it so it sticks off the character more. I would just make it bulkier. It's going to enhance that silhouette even more. But that's up to you. What you have now matches your reference more closely. I'm just reviewing it from more of like a 3D printable model standpoint and just a 3D model. I love it. Make sure to add some wear and tear to the bracers and stuff, so like some little dents and hard surface stuff. I don't have a whole lot of feedback on this one because you're killing it. It looks fantastic. Super proud of you. Good work. Yeah, loving the progression, Ray says. Yeah, everyone loves seeing your journey, RB. This is amazing. Oh, apparently Spam does have real ingredients. Thank you, Sater. This is important. Yeah, I forgot to mention I have to work on the belt. Yeah, no problem. I don't really have any other feedback than that. Because you just like nailed it. It looks exactly like the reference. From here on, just like pretty much just keep on working. If I could challenge you, I mean, I guess something that I could suggest is that maybe instead of copying the reference, this is where you can kind of start making your own stylistic choices. Maybe make a piece of armor that's not on the original that you think would add to the backstory or interest of the character. This could be like a necklace made of ears. This could be maybe a whole different monster head that you sculpt. And oh, yeah, the belt does look like a soda pull tab. I don't like the belt. I would make a new belt if I was you. Anyway. But yeah, if you want a challenge, you can make a new asset that's not from the reference. You can get different references for this that will make this character more yours. But yeah, good work. Keep it up. I'm super proud of you. I do have something from Jolly Row right here. I don't know if I can open that. If you are in the chat and you want feedback, I'll open that. If not, I'll let that be because we had a pretty good conversation this morning. RB says, sure, we'll do that. Awesome. We're all looking forward to it. Aloha says, by the way, guys, every section of my model Mia review was initially made from each assignment we did the past few months. And then he put them all together into one character. That's how we do it. Like, my mentorship program is tailored for each student. But no matter what level you are, you gotta approach things in bite-sized pieces. I love that you guys are being so sweet to each other. Yes. Be nice to other artists. And there's no pretentiousness behind being an artist. You can be an artist. It's not some special thing that you're born with. Work at it, you can do it too. Oh yeah, Mini Moo, low poly. Let me do that. So Ray asked for a low poly version, see I knew I'd forget, of Moo, because they want to practice it texturing, because they're in uni, so it'll be a fun little side project. They were so sweet. Ray asked me like how much I would charge for like my low poly models. I'm like, I don't know. Don't worry about it. Not for the first one. If you end up doing it a lot, become a member or something. There you go. But for now, let's just have fun. And that means that y'all get to see... where am I? Which one was it? It was with the cow. Is the word cow on here and I'm missing it? Oh my goodness. Alexander. Hello, welcome. Goodness. Wow, what is going on right now? This is incredible. Okay. You guys are all... I'm going to have a lot of mugs on the channel next time. So I mentioned you guys before, we were talking about donations. I mentioned, I'm like, no, Alexander is still at the top here. Oh my God. Alexander, thank you. Jeez. Love it. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of shuffling around here. What was I doing? Ah, a cow. Oh my gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's extremely sweet of you. Truly. So many lurkers being subs. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're just gonna... If any of those people are in the chat right now, if you're lurking, unlurk. Tell me what you want your mug to look like. You let me know in the Discord too. But if you don't, what I'll do is we'll kind of get a secondary tier of shelves. We'll do an entire row of mugs at the top of the stream. How's that? How's that? And obviously, Alexander, you get your own custom mug. Goodness. Ricky is like having a heart attack. Ricky's my husband. He makes the mugs. Yeah, we're going to have like a mug tree. Oh, how fun. Good. That means like I can like get a lot of y'all included in here. I recognize a lot of these names too. Volt the Robot. They've been around for a while. Dewey28 is one of my merchants for a long time. Fleekata, of course. Hey, Reaper, you now have an official mug, thanks to Alexander. Amazing. Yeah, I actually recognize a lot of these names, so I can reach out to them and see if they want a custom mug of some sort. Yeah, mug game, let's go. Oh my goodness. Alexander, you have to tell me what kind of mug you want. My bot can't even keep up. Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you. As you can tell, Alexander, the stream has grown quite a lot. I'm very excited about that. We average about 20 people hanging out here. It's Ricky's having a meltdown. Amazing. Alrighty. And then anything that Non-Sleeper said, Mia can look in student artwork. Oh, sweet. You have something for me to review as well. Okay, I'll do that. Yes, we're gonna do a little renovating. We got a lot of people here. So Volt the robot's gonna get an email like, who gave me a membership? Volt is super cool too. Alexander says anything. Dealer's choice. Sounds very good. Oh, speaking of, I have that model for all of y'all who missed Alexander's initial request from last year. Okay, it's really high up. 1 second. So I made a lot of versions of this model. However, this was Alexander's, one of them, which was this amazing skeleton dragon. And it was so much fun. And I was working really hard. And then they did the same thing. They like just appeared and like were very generous. But yeah, I also did the Dragonborn monk for them. I know some of y'all were around for that. Just so you guys know who Alexander is. Because I know Aloa's like going to have to add that to the lore here. Alexander, since you asked, your last couple of requests were for the incomplete dragon skeleton and the Dragonborn monk. It's got to be dragon related. Robert on the far left there has someone's dragon theme. I'll put you over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My ramen and spam has never tasted so good. Draconium. Dragonborn don't have tails. You're right. You're right. We were having a crisis over that yesterday about halflings, whether their ears were pointed or not, because in Pathfinder they are, but in D&D they're not. It's gonna look like a proper tavern, guys. It's gonna be awesome. We definitely need a shelf up top. Maybe some like hooks. That's gonna be fun. I love that Ricky just like, ah! Thank you, Aloha. Lore updated. Alright, almost done with my food. And we have double happy hour today too, so let me go ahead and reset that. There we go. Yeah, Pet was there. I remember the stream for the dragon. That was really fun. Yeah, that's so funny. Because you haven't been back in a while. So the fact that you and Alexander showed up in the same stream, very funny. Happy coincidence. Ricky, so many mugs. April is my month. It's been fantastic. Yeah, also Alexander, so I stream every day now. Today is my newest best streak at 15, so that was a very special celebration. And gave my bot a heart attack. Alright, I finished lunch. Thank you guys for being patient. Oh no, Pat said, yeah, health issues. Yeah, I'm sorry you weren't feeling well. I'm assuming you're feeling better. Sending good vibes your way. Ray says, Mia, I just checked on the night I'm using and apparently it's 100,000 polys. But I could have swore it was lower. My teacher is going to kill me. Yeah, they are. All right. Very, very exciting. Again, thank you to Alexander. We're going to review Non-Sleeper's artwork here for my mentorship program. And then we are going to get Ray that low poly moo. All right. Yes, it's already off to like a great start. I see you've added some weapons, a small pose. The biggest thing that I note here, Non-Sleeper, is If you want to strengthen your pose to look even stronger, you want to introduce a concept called contrapposto. I always want to say contrapposto. Because right now, if you look at this carefully, let me pick a color that contrasts. We'll go with green. You'll see that his shoulders, I want a thicker line. One second. Very picky with my lines. You'll see his shoulders and his hips are pretty much parallel. You have a slight angle, I guess. You want to angle that a lot more and it'll look a lot more comfortable. RB. Oh, there's gonna be so many mugs. That's 30 memberships in one day. Where are we gonna put all these mugs? We did not have the infrastructure for this. Ricky is having a heart attack. Oh my goodness, guys. Thank you. Thank you. All these people getting emails are gonna be like, what the heck? Wow. So is this just like random? Who gets picked? This is so funny. I didn't even know gifting memberships was a thing, so I'm kind of blown away by this. Okay, we do not have the technology, but we will. My bot's keeping up. We need smaller mugs. We do. You guys are gonna come back to the stream tomorrow, and it's just gonna be like nothing but mugs, and then just like my face, and like this much art. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. Thank you. And obviously, RB, you have a mug now. If you have a preference, please let me know. Ray says, yay for Mia, though. Definitely deserves all the support. Thank you. I'm doing my best. And, man, it's been a good year. It really has. Okay, art, contrapposto. This is so hard to focus. You're killing me. Alexander says, it's based on tenure and interaction frequency. You also have to have your account accepting membership gifting to receive them. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Thank you. Yeah, Reiki is having an absolute meltdown. In the best way. Obviously, we're grateful, but it's super funny. He's gonna figure it out. He's gonna figure it out. Alrighty. Non-sleeper, if you're here, make sure that you add more of a pivot point to this, and I will pull up another example. It's so hard to focus, it's very exciting. Most of the examples are always with Greek statues, which obviously have lots of nudity, which is fine. Here we go. That's a great overlay. See how like the angle here? You want to like pull the model one way or another for that line of action. It's very, very important, and that will strengthen your model quite a lot. I'd make the staff or the katana here a little thicker for 3D printing. And then, of course, add some more resolution to get rid of some of that low poly texturing. But you're off to a great start. You're always working on something cool. All right, we've reviewed 3 students so far. Is there any other students that need their work reviewed? Reminder, that's already some peasants hanging out in the hub. I love to see it. Monkey's working on a fantastic map. Awesome, awesome. Y'all need to keep an eye on Meditating Monkey if you haven't already. 1, because they're suspicious. No, but seriously, they do great work as well. All right, I need to get Moo ready for Ray before I can forget. All right, RB says, up to you, Ricky. Your choice. Okay. He will do his best. Epic. Wow. Yeah, I would say that this stream was special for a lot of reasons. So many peasants to add to the tab room. My goodness. All right, so Moo is this little funny, silly thing that we made on stream based on a fortunate roll of the die. And now, Ray would like it to texture low poly for one of their uni classes. All right, Ray, I have a couple questions for you if you're around. First and foremost, does it help you if these meshes are individual, or do you just need it low poly? Let me just decimate it right now all the way down to 15,000 points, and we'll kind of see what that looks like. If you have any preference on what could be like remeshed together or individual meshes, let me know. Oh, SoFire says, would a curved brush demo be okay? Of course, of course. So that's only 15,000 points. I can go even lower. Let's see what 5 looks like. There we go. Is that good? It can be all together. Sounds good. As of now, it's individual. Thinking what would be best. All right. Is 5,000 poly okay? Or I think this is actually gonna be point, so it might end up being more than that. It is it's under 10,000 poly. Although if the wings are separate, it'd be handy. Okay. I'm gonna leave them all separate. That way you can grab your meshes and however you want. You can add or remove toe beans or whatever you want. Yeah, stonks are up. No kidding. What does 1,000 look like? Here we go. That's a really low poly. Let's go until there we go. The flowers don't explode. And then there's a couple mesh issues. Oof. All right, that should be something to start with. Nice and low poly, pretty cute. It could be an FBX or OBJ. Okay, let's do it. All right, tool export, by default, it's always an OBJ. We'll call that Moo. I'm gonna hop over to our DMs. I don't think we talked about anything secret. Look away, guys. And I think I can upload the file directly right here for you. This will release on Patreon, don't y'all worry. This is kind of like a fun little side thing. Did it? Oh, it was in work in progress. Okay. Alrighty. Right here. There's Moo. All right. Moo was on his way. Amazing. Yeah, good luck with that. I hope that helps you with your class and just practice in general. Ray says, yay, thank you. You're so, so welcome. Alrighty, and then we also had a request for a curve strap snap, or curve brush in general tutorial. Yes, curve brushes are tricky, so let's talk about it. I'm gonna put it within context because I think that's an easier way to learn. So let's pretend we're going to add a cowbell to this cow. How about that? There's a few ways to do this. My favorite curve brush to use is the curve strap snap brush. So click on B for brush palette. And then if you click on C, it'll actually kind of like reduce this a little bit. And right here you can see curve strap snap. Click that. Once it's active, it's already happening. So if I click and drag, you'll see that these little red and black dots start to happen, or little dashes. That is showing the frequency of the curve. So that can mean a lot of things. Essentially, the more lines there are segments, the higher res your loops can be. Sometimes it benefits you to reduce this. Let's say you made a octopus tentacle instead, and you want the suction cups to happen at a lower frequency, you would lower that. And the way you would do that is come under curve functions or curve modifiers, as well as lazy mouse. There's a lot of things you can enable here. All of this is gonna allow you to adjust the curve of the brush. Here we go. Curve, curve mode, and curve steps. You can increase or decrease that. I'm just telling you things that are available to you. You don't need to worry about them right now. Select your brush, click and drag. If you hold off of the model, keep your pen down, and then hold down Shift. It will do a loop around the mesh. Sometimes it has a hard time with it. So let me isolate. There we go. When you have an irregular shape like this, sometimes it'll have a hard time. Let's see if I can get it to work. There we go. So it's kind of laggy right now because this model here is 300,000 points and a little irregular. But I said what I was gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna duplicate this mesh and just make it, oh, it's because stuff is hidden. That's why. Okay, I'm gonna Dynamesh this. There we go. You'll notice that it snapped right away and it worked. And that's because it's slower poly. So if you're having problems with your curve brush, there's two things. One, you can't have subdivision levels at all. And two, it can't be very high resolution. So I'm gonna click and drag, hold down Shift, and we'll get that really fancy snapping feature. If I click and drag, I can start moving it around the model. You might not want that. But in this case, that's a really nice and easy way to make a belt. I can make it larger by increasing the draw size, hold down spacebar, click and drag on draw size. Now it's larger, a little too large, and now it's smaller. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm gonna go over a couple other interesting things about the curve brush, talking about those fancy settings I mentioned earlier. So if I have my curve brush here, you'll notice it's all uniform, right? What if I wanted it to waver every now and then without having to do it by hand? You can do that. Go to curve functions, curve modifiers. See, click on this little graph to expand it, enable size, and then click on FV. It's going to flip that graph, and then you can start dragging and clicking on this graph to make different shapes. It's just telling it that per every section of length, how is the size being affected? So in this case, as length increases, size of the mesh decreases. That's why it's a negative linear. So I click on it, whoop, like this. See, now it tapers. You can use this technique to create hair, lots of different ribbons, all kinds of stuff like that. Aloha says, Mia, for the curve brushes, how do you lock the starting point? Great question, because right now if I click and drag it, flails around. Go to stroke, curve, and then lock start. So now it won't move. It will just, well, it will move, but the initial point will stay locked on. Great question. You can do the same thing, but backwards by doing lock end. You can also click on liquid, which will disable lock start, but liquid's interesting because it will kind of simulate as if it's a liquid. See how it's kind of like falling? Use this one carefully. Liquid is powerful, see, but it's kind of a disaster. It's too powerful. Just be careful with that one. Be careful with curve brushes in general. They're quite finicky. This little dotted line will probably drive you crazy after a amount of time because you can't easily get rid of it, it seems like. If you click next to it, it'll keep on moving. The way to get rid of it is to click somewhere on your mesh. See? It was there. Now it's gone. You can't click off your mesh. That doesn't work. You can't click next to it. That will continue the line. You must click just somewhere off on top of the mesh. There you go. Mini Blay says, Mia, I'm learning the navigation thing, but I want to ask a question. Is there a way to lock the model in the center of the screen then navigate around it? No, but I can give you a solution anyway. But what you're asking for doesn't exist, but that's fine. What we can do is, let me merge all this down. Wow, I really wish I didn't do that. Don't worry about that. We're fine. Okay. It's not going to lock in the center of your screen, but something that you can do, you can like snap the screen flat by holding down Shift on your keyboard and then take your pen, click on your tablet and drag straight down. And I mean like straight down, not this, this. It's very important. So again, hold down Shift, click on your tablet, drag straight down. Bam. And it'll snap it just like that. If you want to navigate around it without weird stuff happening, just click on W for your 3D gizmo, and you can just rotate instead to move around. That's also an option. That's going to be your best bet, probably. Mini Blaze mentioned, I'm getting tired of moving it back to the center. Eventually, you just don't care. I work on my models over here. I work on them upside down. I work on them like this. You guys have seen me do this. Eventually, you get comfortable in a 3D space, and you just don't care. Just not a great answer. It's the truth. Is there a hotkey to snap a center? No. Just Lingual says, I'm back, having more hours of stream. I don't know. We're at 3.5 hours because I doubled happy hour today. I don't know. I'm just hanging out, I guess. Yeah, F can recenter. But if it's not gonna... It's gonna recenter based on your subtool. So that's not always a great tip, especially for newbies, because it's just gonna zoom in on whatever you have selected. So for example, if I have this pedal selected and click F, it's gonna do that. That's not helpful. It was good for you guys to share it though, just to be clear. But for what Mini Blaze is asking for, if she clicks on F, she's gonna be like, what the heck? It's gonna take whatever subtool you have and blow it up to the center of your screen. So not always the best solution. Just Lingual says, just a chill gal, I see. It's true. Again, today was kind of an extreme example of it, but live streaming is becoming an actual, part of my business. Money-wise, reach-wise, all of the things. So if it pays to be here, I love it. So I'm just going to stick around. Mini Blaze says, oh good, because right now it bugs the heck out of me. You should have seen it bounce around when I did my planet. That's very fitting though. You're in space. Aloha says, press F. Sometimes, maybe, if needed. F in the chat. Pat says, okay, time to sleep. Happy to being back in here. Bye. Thanks for being here. Bye. Yeah, it's been a very lively stream for sure. All right, fantastic questions for my students. Anything else that you guys want to ask? Nothing is too simple or too basic. I see I have DMs, but I don't know if I have permission to read them. That's a student. That's Ray, probably saying thank you. And that's Sater. Probably with secret evil messages. So far says, Mia, thank you. I'll give that a go. Stupid cur was wiggling like he was alive yesterday. Oh, it's very sensitive. You have to be very nice to it. Aloha, get that curve so far. So far, you're a mortal dog, right? I'm pretty sure. You're the one that was working on shoes, and I was like, don't even worry about it. Shoes are such a pain. I need to make that assignment for y'all. All right, we're officially in the last section of the stream. Welcome to last call. This is where you guys can get any, oh yeah, so far is mortal dog confirmed. Okay, sounds good. That's our username on Discord. Anyway, this is last moments, get some dueling in, stuff like that, and asking last questions. Interesting. RB says, I'd love to see how you approach webbing on helmets. It may be an easy technique, you know, but I always struggle with webbing. I mean, when I think of helmet webbing, nothing is coming to mind. Oh, this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can show you how I do that. Is that what you're talking about? Just Lingual says, I designed boots once. I've never done it again. Yeah, I feel that. All right, I can do a quick demo on that. I've never done it before, but I got solutions for most things. I'm gonna wait for them to confirm. Yes, okay, cool. All right, so they asked how you make this, essentially. Okay. Let me throw up my references. All right. I would use curve brushes. So in this case, I just have this really low poly thing here. Let me get it roughly helmet shape. I'd make sure I have perspective turn off by clicking P. Click and drag so I have kind of like, you know, my flat helmet shape going on here. And then I come in with curve strap snap. All right, is it gonna be silly because I have liquid turned on? Yeah. 1 second. There we go. I would just click and drag and it should follow the mesh. It's gonna be dumb because I just did a demo. There we go. And it also has the taper because I just did a demo. Let me reset my brushes. Essentially, I would just take this and then draw on our patterns as needed. I would like to actually show it to you though. Because it's being very misbehaved because I'm streaming. There we go. Don't use symmetry. I was trying to be like cute with it and use symmetry and it just immediately was dumb. There we go. I got one there. I would take this. I would then duplicate it, rotate it with my gizmo. So you got 2 straps there. Looks like it's supposed to be like this army green color. There we go. So that's the initial. And that's pretty much how I do that. It looks like on some of these, there's quite a few. Wow, it just disappeared. You guys saw that? Like, disappeared. There we go. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah. So if you need to, you can just duplicate as needed from the center and then rotate. And then of course, looks like there's also these rings. So I'd come through with a pen, I'd grab a ring, and in the same way that I would assemble buckles, keep this nice and thin. I could Z-remesh that a few times for the border, and then throw that right here for the top. But yes, that's how I would approach that. Have you ever physically sculpted a mini? No, I've never ever played with clay. Like Play-Doh a little bit. I made like a bunch of little cows and stuff, but sculpted like a mini? No. The smaller netting. What do you need? When I type in netting, this is what comes up. Oh, this? This? Next time, send a picture. But I can do it. I assume you're talking about this. This would be a noise modifier. I'm going to throw that in the reference. There's a couple ways you can do this as well. All right, for this, I'm going to delete all. I have this piece. You can use a mask. Stop being silly. There we go. There we go. All right. You could just go in by hand and you could literally just draw like this gradient here. Let me turn off tablet. It depends how high res you want it to be. But you could come through with this and literally just like kind of draw this pattern on really quickly. Invert it and then inflate to get a really quick and dirty interpretation of that. Obviously, spend more time on it. You could also extract it, have a mesh. But the real way to do this is to come under to noise and use a noise modifier for this. There's one that looks kind of like fishnet that I think would benefit you quite well. This one. I know it doesn't look right now because you have to, it needs some massaging. All right, go over here to surface once you grab that from Lightbox and then edit. Don't mind that the color looks totally silly. We're just gonna not worry about that. All right. And then you can adjust the plugin scale. There we go. See, I'm starting to get that shape that I want there. And then you can adjust the scale. There we go. And the strength. Because it's going the wrong way. I had to invert it so it's going the right way. There we go. So I need to blow that up a little bit more, but that's how I do that. Yes, ma'am. There you go. Alrighty. But yeah, I'd recommend getting a noise modifier. You're gonna have these weird stretching on the sides. You fix that by generating UV maps and then picking where the seams are going to lay. But there you go. Noise modifiers are super powerful. You can browse through a bunch of them by clicking on comma for a Lightbox and then all of these down here, which of course means you can find stuff online that probably answers this question. There's an even better one. That will generate that texture right as you need it. Pretty nifty. Bye, monkey. Aloha says, I just wanted to ask Mia if this year has been one of her favorite years of her career so far with all the channel growth. It has. It's become such a creative, like community-based thing. Being an artist can be really lonely. You know, it's just you and your art and a screen. When I considered myself more of a musician and I actually played with people a lot more, you know, like jam sessions and stuff. But artists don't really like jam with each other, you know? So it's just kind of tricky. It's been a beautiful year though, and this warms my soul. Seeing y'all hang out in the Discord, or just with each other in general, it doesn't have to be my Discord, but seeing everyone streaming their art, hey look, it's me. Their art and their creation has just been really, really lovely, seriously. Thank you, Just Lingual, for the tip. It's a little coffee. It says tired on it. Yeah, your girl needs another coffee after this. This is great. RV says, Mia, I was just about to ask if UVs are the solution. You got it. I'll send you some videos that will help even more with that. Now my life will be easier. Exactly what I'd like to hear. And yeah, Reefer, you get a mug now. I can't remember if that was paid for by Alexander or RB Gaming, but very exciting either way. Oh, it was the first round. That sounds right. Oh, that makes sense because Alexander mentioned it's based on those who are the most active, which we've got quite a few people here. Just Lingual said, I just got an exam where the average score is 40, so the tired cup was fitting. You were preaching to the choir. So If I can be real with you guys for a second here, being in college was the worst, and I talked about this. I was multiple times one of the worst test scores, but also the curve record. I do really well with like difficult tests, so I would set the curve, like I would be the 40%. Like I'm still failing, but in my mechanical engineering classes, I would be like the 40%, and everyone else would do like 10 or 9. It's still terrible. And then like on other tests where everyone like kind of got it and it was like fundamentals, not so much application, people would get like C's and I would just absolutely flunk. I graduated with like almost a 3.5. Not quite. That's why I lost my scholarship. That's a whole other story. But that's horrible. I feel you. It's not a big deal. It all works out. My lowest test score ever, if you guys want to guess, it's not a 0. Do you guys want to guess what my lowest test score, like a real actual midterm exam score that I got in college was? I'll let you guys guess. I will not be offended. It's less than 40, I can tell you that. Yeah, we're going to have to make the mug smaller. 100%. All right, I'm going to spoil it for y'all. It's a 9. My absolute lowest score I got was a 9%. I was the second highest class, or second highest grade in that one. Not the curve record, but close. The curve record was at a 22. I am not kidding. It was horrific. Yeah, close. Oh, 39 is very sweet so far. Thank you. You like really were like, okay, well, it's not 40. I'll max it out. I'll say 39. Yeah, no, 9. 9. During one of my finals in my junior year, so my third year of college, when you turned in your final, he would glance at it and he'd either give you a McDonald's application or a change of major application. I am not joking, you guys. It was literal hell. And like, it wasn't funny. I have to be really clear about that. Like, I love some dark humor. I do. College was horrific. Fresno State, every engineering professor there, no, eat a brick. Some engineering professors are awful. Yeah, they were just miserable. And then like some of the engineering professors that were cooler, they were just, oh God, they were so creepy. I was like, please don't be creepy. Don't make it weird. Yeah, no, they were horrific. They're terrible. So far I said I did type 9 first and I thought it was mean. No, that means I feel seen. I do. I do. I do. And I gotta be clear, I don't think I told you guys this, but I got like a very prestigious full ride scholarship to go to college. All 4 years were paid for, but you needed to keep a 3.5. And I ended with a 3.4 or a 3.3. So I had to pay for my last semester. I know, I'm such a slacker. And I'll be clear about that. I felt very, very grateful for that scholarship. It was incredible. They picked 50 people a year, and I wasn't one of the 50. I was the first or second on the wait list, so I was 52. But someone turned it down to go to Berkeley and pay full price, so I got it. RB says, I'm not sure how the education system works, but here, there's nothing to do with your percent and what you're going to do with your life. I have my classmates who are at 85 and still failing. Or you retracted some of it to probably rewrite it, but I agree, and that's a beautiful sentiment. It's true. It doesn't matter, guys. Like, I had a good-ish GPA, you know. 4.0 was a max, so I was, again, almost there. It's next to a letter, so 4.0 is all A's, 3.0 is all B's, for example. So I was halfway between all A's and all B's. But anyway, it's a joke. It's such a riot. You're doing fine. You're doing A-okay. Justin will also type 9. Oh, you guys are so sweet, but you guys know me better. Your first answer was perfection. There we go. And they're still doing nothing, even though, yeah, I had some friends. I did not have friends in college. I had like 2 people I liked. One of them was Walker. He writes stat blocks for y'all every now and then. He's wonderful. He actually just got his PhD in mechanical engineering. Yay, Walker. But anyway, it's just such a riot. Find your people, be happy, stay in your lane. Absolutely. So far says, I did coursework for uni, tested my first year. Turns out, didn't know I was dyslexic. Yeah, that would put a wrench in that. Goodness. I'm just looking, this is absurd. So we had $2 donation. Thank you so much. I'm going to spend that on a coffee, fancy coffee. And then 30 new members. Awesome. Peasant uprising begins. I guess it's already begun. Now it's just in full swing. Reaper says, I got 4.0 for most of the 4th year, though that was mostly because it was art-based classes, so it wasn't that difficult to get an A if you tried. Yeah, no, like engineering, for some reason, this is really common at different universities. They just like revel and like, I've had professors where I walk in the first day and they're like, one of you will get an A, because the way they believe it should work is like based on like a bell curve and like standard deviations. That means that like 80% of people or 60% will fall within like the main section of the bell curve, right? Which is a C average, which means your little section over here is like your A's, which is like, what is it? 7.25%? I can't remember. And same with F's. So they would just apply that to the class. I'm not kidding. It was horrific. I remember one time I had an A in my chem lab because it was really hard. I had a 96. And then it turned out the other chem lab, they said that class was harder. It's the same material, it's just a different instructor. And so they curved our class down by 7%. So I ended up with an 89. And that contributed to me losing my scholarship. It was just horrific. Yeah. It's just a paper. It's just a paper. I've never been able just to vent about college so hard all at once. Wow, this feels really good. I need to move on. It's hard too. Like, it was 7 years ago, or 6. I graduated in 2020 or 2019, right before the pandemic. Thank God. But I don't know. I'm still bitter about it. I am. God, it was just like, it sucked, man. It sucked. We feel you, Jesseline. We'll hold in there. I know Sader's going through it right now too. Sader says, I don't know. I went to art school and they were brutal. I believe it. No, granted, the rest of the school made fun of my program for ridiculous curriculum, but they were all failing. So they have to repeat to pay again. Oh no. Just Lingual said, I can't believe I was gone for the membership like gifts. Well, it's all video on demand. You can always just turn back the clock. But yeah, it's okay. Just Lingual says, my aircraft performance engineer actively makes fun of the students and said that he did a good job because one student passed. Yeah. As I like to say, these are not happy people behaviors. When people are being horrible, it's okay. They're not happy. They're unhinged. Just put them in their box and be like, yep, that's unhappy people behavior. I used to be really, really judgy on like, okay, listen, I'm a woman of science. I don't want to go into like religion or politics at all, but it's not hard to read between the lines here. My point being, I used to be very like judgy of people that liked astrology and numerology and all that kind of stuff. And I still don't believe in any of that. But I've noticed that these like crystal girlies are like, they're just like happy. They're so chill with like their tarot cards and their crystals and their vibing. And it was around then where I was like, are they happier than me? I'm like, I think they are. I'm like, they win, you know? So it's really loosened me up. And the same thing helped me get over my college bitterness where I'm like engineering professors were not happy. They were miserable. So I'm like, I'm going to be as little like you as possible. RB says, I spent $5,000 for 3D courses, which is a big amount in India. Yeah, I don't know if it's $5,000 US dollars or rupees, but either way, yeah. And I learned nothing, just the basics. I had to learn everything by myself. And now I notice these basic steps we can learn from YouTube. It's true. It's true. So far, I started their master's in October 2019, finished 2020, graduated 2022, because they forgot us. Oh yeah, because it's pandemic graduates. I'm so sorry. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm very proud of you for getting your master's. That's amazing. Aloha said, I'm glad you were the opposite of the teachers you had. 100%. Yeah, oh, 5,000 US dollars. Yeah, that is a lot. For college here, that's cheap, but it's still a lot of money. Man, we are just hanging out today. I'm coming up in almost 4 hours. I don't need to do anything. I can just sit here. No, I can just hang out. I'm having fun. If you haven't already, like the stream. It was one for the books. We had over 100 people that tuned into this stream too. It's pretty amazing. This has been awesome. It's just the beginning too. Like, I've been very careful. I'm not getting burned out. I'm really making sure that I'm pacing myself when I stream. Like right now, I'm just kind of just chilling and taking that pressure off. So I want to let you guys know that like I'm not suffering over here. Things are going really, really well. Just Lingual says, on the flip side, I designed a NASA robot for the moon. So I know I need to realize it's bad. What do you mean? That's so cool. That's so cool. Ray says, I'm mainly lurking because I'm giving Moo attention. Just want to say, Mia, you teach your students so nicely. Thank you. I'm doing my best, and because of you guys, I'm actually doing quite a bit of studying on my off time because I got a ton to learn still. And I can only teach you guys as much as I know, and it's definitely pushing me to learn. I love that. Just Lingual says, I want to design toys like you, though. Life goals. Initially, being a 3D artist, doing, like my critters and my monsters and stuff, it was hard for me to understand and like feel like this was just as valuable, because as an engineer, like you tell people like, oh, I'm a mechanical engineer, and they go, wow, and now I say I'm an artist, they just kind of assume I live on my parents' couch, and but if I brag about how much I make, it's rude. So it was kind of difficult at first, and I realized, no, I'm providing a lot of value as an artist and hanging out with you guys and inspiring other creatives and then bringing your ideas to life. I've definitely found my niche and my spot, and I'm very grateful. It doesn't happen by accident, but I can still be grateful for it. Thank you, Non-Sleeper, for the donation. Lois says, how am I third on the podium, guys? I haven't done anything. I put a little something in your account because I can't interact with your thing because of Streamlabs. RB asked, what should I name my character? It's funny, I don't know what he's called. Okay, you asked the perfect group. What are we gonna name his character, y'all? He's a chunk. We need names. Minnie says, I found it pretty cool. I found this site as I was searching for ZBrush lessons. No kidding. Gork. Oh, I like Gork. Okay, Gork and Grog. We're on the same, like, Ted. I like Gork and Grog a lot. Gork, and then he drinks a lot of grog. Isn't that like mead? Rum? Grok. Okay, we have Gork, Grog, and Grok. I knew I was extending the live stream for a reason. Grundle. Alright, RB Gaming, you got a lot of silly options here. Jeet. Ogmar. Beautiful, beautiful. These are good names. Trog. Also totally valid. I think Grok is my favorite. We started with Gork, then Grog, then Grok. It's like a natural progression. Well, you could combine all of these to give him like a full name. It could be like Grok Grundlejeet as his full name. Oh my gosh, you guys are fun. All right. I'm going to stream again tomorrow. We can continue the festivities. If you want to hang out and kind of have the after party continue, you're more than welcome to hang out in the Peasant Social Hub. If not, I'll be back tomorrow around noon Eastern time. And yeah, it was a beautiful day. Do something nice for someone today, because I had people that were very nice to me today. All right, y'all. A lot of love. I'll come back. Bye.